Hello, hello, hello. Here we go. Pop it over. How's everyone doing? Turn that down. Yeah. How's everyone doing listening to the Stream Sonics? In case you're wondering what this one's called, you can find it on Spotify. Stream Sonics. Hear the Dawn. I like his stuff. I listen to it before bed. I listen to it while I'm reading, in the shower, going for a walk. Doing good. Had a good day so far. It's been going pretty well. I'm excited. I heard about this Warcraft Arclight. It's been pushing me the ad every time I go to log in on, what is it called? BattleNet over here? This? Is it up? I hope it is. Yeah. That's the first thing I'm going to look at today. And then there's a video from the quartering I want to look at. Elon Musk forced to testify in front of Congress. While I was sitting around over the weekend, I remember reading about an editor of the TO blog, a Toronto blog, trying to spread rumors. Oops, I didn't mean to pause it. Trying to spread rumors about the owner of Barstool Sports. So I wanted to check that out too at some point. And then Amber Heard took to the stand today, so I was going to look at that. Maybe a couple of hours. It was 7 hours long. I don't want to watch all of it. I think there's like an hour they cut for lunch, so I'll have to skip that. But it's because Allison told me the psychologist lady is worth listening to. So I might just randomly drop in and back it up somewhere, but we'll see. Because it's already over. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I don't stream for that many hours, and that's if I get to it in a timely manner. If I don't, I gotta make up stream on Saturday. I'll do something then. All right, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. I don't think. Let me check my little notebook here. Break the immersion there for a second. Oh yeah, I forgot. That was one thing. I just remembered while scrolling through Twitter. Oh, thank you, by the way, for the follows. Tia Kuhn, Adblop, and Florence OXX. I just checked the mini feed there. I wasn't here, so there we go. Tia Kuhn, thank you. AB Blop and Florence OXX. Very much for that. Getting things a little long here. As you can see in that green bar above my head, I'll give a burger recipe, one I use all the time. And it's not going to be something easy like, well, it's going to still be something. It's not going to be something just like go get a packet of soup at the store and toss in like an egg. Be a little more, little bit more than that. I do a lot of cooking. I like to cook. It's the only thing that calms me down. Not doing dishes. I'd rather do dishes when I'm angry because at least they'll be clean. When I do dishes when I'm in a good mood, I make too many mistakes. So I get myself all worked up before I go do dishes every day. Yeah, so thank you very much for those follows. So yeah, well, if we get time for the Amber Heard stuff, because here we'd whatever is happening in Hollywood, I don't care about. UFOs, aliens, the ancients, the giants, Denisovans, big blocks, megaliths. I'm just checking it out because I do like Johnny Depp. I had like one of my sleepovers for my birthday. My mom held a sleepover for me because it was like really, I almost said unfriendly. That's not true. I didn't have many friends, so my mom was trying to help me out with that. Nobody asked, but thank you, I guess. But it was fine. It was her brother's girlfriend's kids, and they were my age, so it didn't really matter. Anyways, that her son, who was like twice I was a tall kid. But he was like taller than me, and he was like wider than me. He bought me a DVD player, and he bought me the trilogy to Pirates of the Caribbean because in music class we would play the music, and he thought I really liked the movies because of that. I watched Pirates of the Caribbean 1. I think I saw the second one in theaters, but I don't think I saw the third one in theaters. I would have to ask my brother because my grandmother and my aunt like I was saying a couple days ago, my grandmother and my aunt took me to a lot of different movies. So yeah, I enjoyed Johnny Depp and all that stuff. My brother likes his more psychedelic style movies. I know he was in 21 Jump Street and all that stuff, but you know, I know a lot of his past and stuff. I'm more for his newer movies and stuff like that, the friendlier things. Just because I like the range he's got, and I like how goofy he can be. And it sounds like it sucks what he's going through, so I'd like to check it out finally. Like, now that they're on their 15th day. And then Allison told me they brought on like a crazy psychologist lady, and that tops the cake, man. It really did. It really does. So before I should warn, now I'm going to start the Warcraft Arclight Rumble new mobile game reveal showcase. So I don't know what this is. And now that we're seeing it, is it like a pinball game? I actually don't like how some pinball machines now just have a button. Oh, wow, that's pretty loud. I'm going to grab that and drag that down for you guys. There. Oof. Oh, so it's not like a pinball game. It's like a miniatures game. This is cool. Oh. Okay. Hopefully it's not like a Clash of Clans clone. It's Allison's hyena people. It's the hyenas. I know what they're called. We were arguing about it a couple days ago. Now I just got the Quillbore stuck in my head. Oh shit. This seems like it could be fun so far. I don't know. Just an animation. You know what they say about mobile games where there's only animation and no gameplay? But it's just a reveal, so this is a trailer. Hey. Oh shit. Oh! Does that mean you'll be able to make like oh, is that why her arm is like that? You can customize them like that? Cool. I want to make like the chicken guy from Quest for Camelot. I almost call it the Road to Camelot. That's the Road to El Dorado. The Quest for El Dorado and the Road to Camelot. Hi, Adam. And I missed the first name. They're going too fast, and I'm talking. Justine and Adam. Okay. But why Arclight Rumble? That's what I want to know. Yes, what is this game? Cool. I can get Arthas? I'm never going to stop being an Arthas fanboy. I'll be like 90 years old. Arthas! We love games! Really? Tower offense. I'm confused. All of it. I like chaos. A bit of anarchy here or there. Not just in the UK. This? Has it always been there? To be perfectly honest, I wouldn't put it past us as the players to just totally miss something that's in the game. Suddenly, somebody just turns around like, "What the hell? Has that always been there?" And then we all act like we've always known. We just thought everybody else knew, so why say anything? Oh yeah, I knew. Arclight.
Famous and infamous battlegrounds for your entertainment.
So when the battle begins, you'll come to the battlefield with your army, ready to go assault the boss.
We're gonna assault a boss.
If the base dies,
defend this, please. I like that.
Meeting stones on the map. If we control the meeting stone, we can play things closer to the boss. If the enemy controls the meeting stone, they're gonna come at us a little bit closer as well. There's also towers on the map for you to go capture that lets you have a forward position so you can assault the boss directly.
Sweet. So that's smart.
There's gold nodes and treasure chests to plunder.
Wow, she's really selling it.
Give me the shiny.
The more gold that you can get, the more chaos you can rain upon the field.
Oh, here we go.
My favorite things about this game is that every mini has their own personality and every single one of them thinks they're the coolest.
Yeah? Oh, I want all the Torn. Oh.
In Warcraft Arclight Rumble, we have 5 families. The Alliance.
Yes.
Alliance with a lot of defensive units and spells. There's also
The Horde. Yep, for the Horde.
That will overpower your enemies.
Always. That's where I'm gonna get the Torn.
To
Oh,
sear a hole in your
damn.
enemy's defenses. Let's throw down.
That's pretty
Of
cool.
course, the undead.
We can bring a skeleton of troops to the battle.
So, are we talking like?
And beasts. We also
Oh,
have
see
a
that.
literal stampede
We're talking
of
probably. Yeah, that's what I
jungles of
thought.
Azeroth.
Yeah. So it's the undead enemies, not the
All
undead
chaos
of the
that's
horde,
going on with the
obviously.
troops, we need somebody to lead this rabble. Leaders are a way to cater your strategy and build a specific play style that suits you. If you want to play,
I like this better than the card game.
Sneed has a trait called Sneed's Greed that makes all of your siege units grab extra gold.
Cool.
My personal favorite
I
is
bet that could
Rend.
be useful.
With its
Rend.
ability Blacken the Sky.
That's my brother.
It makes all of your flying units
He used to be called Renderall.
cheaper, so you can fill the air with chaos.
Chaos.
There are tons of strategies that
They're
you
starting
can
to say
set
that a
up.
lot.
There are over 60 minis for you to play with. But
Over?
you don't need to have an understanding of Warcraft to be able to embrace the chaos. A sense of exploration and wonder should come across regardless.
Speaking of wonder, let's go play a game. We're gonna do a
Okay,
live
that's what I'd like.
edited later, but that's okay. Welcome to Jinroke's
Live,
Swole
sorta.
Isle.
Jinroke.
This is a fun
Okay.
map because I did the design for it and Justine did the art. We'd have
Not
our
too bad.
animators and our character artists make all this
I like
happen.
this. This is pretty cool so far.
That go into making this a reality.
But I want to actually see them moving.
The Swole Troll Patrol is to punch your base in the face.
Smash that
What?
start button. Let's go. Okay. Here comes a troll. He's coming
Beat the
down
hell
the
out of
lane,
it.
And the first thing we're gonna do is have some harpies go say hello. There's a kobold
Okay.
who's already trying to steal gold over there. We're gonna let him go for that though. There's a bat rider coming. And we have
So
a
you drop the enemies and they go after it. Okay, tower attack or tower offense. That's what they said, a tower
Those trolls
offense.
are definitely relentless.
I think I'm understanding.
I'm actually gonna lose.
Sure, Cube, look at that. He's not even good at his own game.
Be easy.
I thought you said you couldn't lose. You designed this map.
Yeah,
Smash that start
you're supposed to be
button.
good at that.
All right, here comes this swole troll, and we need some harpies to go take care of that.
Because
swole troll.
they need to do better. Oh, they're cutting in
Chickens come
where he
I don't
wins.
care about those chickens, but that kobold, I do. That kobold definitely needs to get out of here. Need some more gold though. Let's go mine this area right here so that we can fuel our harpy addiction. All right, good. Have those chickens come in and peck that swole troll, just like it's a snack.
I thought
Oh
there
my gosh,
was
look at all of these
something
things coming
happening.
here.
Said somebody was
But
knocking at my
chain
door.
lightning Is all we need.
Yeah, let me back it up. Sorry, I should have paused it to be honest.
All right, good. Have those chickens come in and peck that swole troll, just like it's a snack.
I
Oh my
like how
gosh,
you
look
have
at all
chickens
these
as a unit,
But one chain lightning is
but I guess
all
you
we
can't change their arms or anything, huh?
Hopefully that kobold sneaks by. Oh, there you go.
No.
Ooh.
I mean, it would be a good
All right,
Down to the wire.
harpies,
Like-
come on.
couple of hours killer, you know?
All right. Let's do it.
You're stuck at the doctor's office. You're really into Warcraft. Oh boy. Are we gonna see like PvP?
Maps that we have for you to play all over Azeroth.
Murphy.
One of my favorite maps is going back to Stranglethorn, deep in the jungle, is Gurabashi Arena.
Damn.
Mukla is there with his banunchucks and
Nunchucks.
Bananalia.
There's a couple of apes in Ungro that have some banana armaments. We've got the
Wow.
Banana by Ukluk. Ungro also has Devil Sword Queen, the tyrant of the area, and she comes
Oh,
stomping down and
that-
just have
that's
to pick
cool.
it up before she bites your base.
Tasty base. There's always going to be unique challenges depending on each map.
I'm seeing that so far with the unique challenges there. Sometimes you're actually moving somewhere.
Massive cannon bombardment.
Other times you're fighting just a
There's
giant
so many
enemy.
ways that you can customize your minis using talents. Their
Okay.
abilities can be augmented in all different sorts of directions.
Maiev has a really awesome talent called Cloak of Shadows.
Oh.
Wherever you play her on the map, she will cast Smoke Bomb and stealth everything around her so you can make a mobile assault squad anywhere.
She's a
on the map.
character. I don't remember much after what she did in Legion going crazy there.
This game has
What?
so many ways to play, varied content every single day, every single week. You get to play a new dungeon every week.
We
Oh,
didn't talk about
cool.
dungeons.
We didn't talk about
No, you
dungeons.
didn't.
You can play
What are these
solo, or
dungeons?
If you want to play co-op, you can as well.
We didn't
Co-op
talk about
dungeons?
We
co-op.
forgot to talk about co-op.
Mm-hmm.
You can join a guild. You can play with your friends.
You can join a guild,
Okay.
You can fight your friends.
Fight. You can go play raids with them. There's so many things to do in this.
Well,
We didn't talk about raids.
you didn't talk about anything so
You
far.
have to stay tuned for more information, aren't you?
Close
That wasn't 10 minutes.
limited
Okay.
soon, so keep an eye on social
I knew
media
it. It wasn't 10. I was say it was closer to like 8. You still got 2
So
minutes.
excited for you guys to get your hands on this, and we really, really look forward to your feedback and input.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Enjoy the joy.
Enjoy the chaos. The
Well, that was
chaos. It
that wasn't even a reveal. That was like a teaser trailer. She said it more often than she needed to, didn't she? Even they don't know. I like how intense it is. It shows there's still that we're marketing to people who are easily excitable, enjoy. Of course. Anyways, I should probably pause that because that's probably gonna get in trouble on the YouTube. So I just realized what it was. So anyways, that's Warcraft Arclight Rumble. It looks pretty cool. I'm glad it's got multiplayer. It means when Allison and I have to go somewhere and we're just sitting around, we could play something, or Amber and I when we're sitting in the kitchen talking and whatever. That was pretty cool. I'm not even kidding. All right. Well, I'm actually kind of excited to give it a try. If anything, I kind of do enjoy phone games because anything that's free to play that's good isn't bad. It's fun as long as you can have fun, and as long as I mean, sounds bad, but if you have an addiction issue, just don't play the game. It sucks. I mean, there's certain games where I spend, well, I used to when I worked, spent a little bit more than I should have towards them, but I had the cash at the time. You just gotta know where to draw the line. But watch, that's the one thing I am worried about. It's gonna have like these in-app purchases that are kind of off the, like that bar at the bottom is probably like a gold nugget bar or something. I have no idea, but watch, it's gonna be like you can get double the amount of gold or something. Start off controlling the center field, the meeting stone. But it looks cool. In all honesty, it does look cool. Got to come out to be able to complain. Got to get our hands on it. So everybody knows that Elon Musk has bought Twitter now, and there are certain people who have lost their mind, thinking he's the worst thing on earth, and he's going to subject us all to hate and verbal attacks on the internet. But I don't really see that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Just even when it really is happening, it's the internet. None of it's real. So don't read the negative comments, ignore them, and move on to the next one. That's it. That's all. Oh, hello. Thank you, Kim Slips. Thank you for the follow. Here we go. I'm going to put on this quartering video and see what's going on. I'm probably going to jump over the ad because those can be a little long. He's also got like these killer intros, which is what I'm liking.
Well, I think it's very important for there to be an inclusive arena for
They just
free speech.
popped in his head over Tony Stark. Hey, Justin Hammer, that guy that did the Rittenhouse trial, Binger, reminded me of Justin Hammer the whole time. It was awesome. I was so happy to live in a world where there is a Justin Hammer on this planet. Just whatever his first name, Binger.
Yeah, completely agree. So Elon, level with us. What's first on the agenda, day one?
Open source the algorithm.
Okay.
There's no sort of behind the scenes.
Let me stop you there, buddy. 2 words. Congressional oversight.
Congressional oversight.
Committee recognizes Barack Obama, who has some comments on content moderation.
Content moderation can limit the distribution of clearly dangerous content.
Why is he in an Air Force?
Clearly dangerous.
These big platforms need to be subject to some level of public oversight and regulation.
So I thought a private company could do whatever they wanted without that. Oh, now it needs it because somebody else owns them? What if he just makes it even and no longer one-sided, which it clearly is?
Thank you, Mr. Obama. Now I believe we have our Minister of Truth, Nina Jankowicz.
Oh yeah, I like this. This is grand.
What are you doing?
Sources of information. Democracy isn't
Turn that off.
possible
That is not a
without
live feed.
authoritative
It's impossible.
sources of information.
Turn that off.
Democracy
Turn that
isn't
off.
possible without authoritative sources of information.
No.
Democracy isn't possible.
Democracy is impossible. Sorry. Eventually, you just have a whole bunch of people who are in the majority to do something we really shouldn't be doing. And then the whole thing falls apart and everybody tries to act like that never happened. Wasn't a minority of people who voted in. I think I can say his name, but you know.
Authoritative sources of information.
Still streaming to YouTube, so I don't know what I can and can't say.
I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Here we are at the
Not like
end
Twitter.
of Monday, and it's been an absolutely insane
End of
day.
Monday.
No,
What are
I'm
we?
not going
Tuesday or
to
Wednesday?
Run an ad for my brand new coffee company, Coffee Brand Coffee. You've already heard enough about it. Lots of people are.
Oh,
ordering.
ad
Very
for me to skip?
grateful for the early support. I'll leave the link as usual, but this particular topic.
Some
is
of his
very
aren't too
interesting
bad.
as, you know, the desperation among.
It is good music.
Quite frankly, only one side of the political aisle over Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter has been really telling, don't you think? You know, it's been really, really interesting.
Yeah, it really does just seem like people who are all for Twitter as it was a few weeks ago, being the open and free platform for marketplace idea exchange. I don't know what the hell they think it is. It's a place to go and shit post. You put up the dumbest shit you can, and if somebody believes it, you get to laugh at them. You're like, why would you even believe that? And then they go, well, no, I'm not. Well, why'd you fall for it? And then everybody gets all mad because they can't take a joke. Well, some people can't. They just have no humor in them. Well, it's not my fault.
To see why people are so, you know, freaked out about it. Why is Congress
Getting involved? Yeah, that's why I'm here, Mr. Quartering.
Well, it's because,
tell me.
In my opinion, Twitter has been for years used to, you know, as a mouthpiece.
Oh yeah,
Elon Musk
definitely.
plans to buy Twitter. Senate Democrats have some questions. Commerce Chair mulling hearings on Musk's.
So they haven't yet.
Lawmakers cite social platforms' role in public debate. Wow. Wow, interesting that they suddenly care about this, isn't it? Really interesting.
Oh, so he's
that they
archiving it. Okay.
Care about it. That suddenly, you know, that the public
Plans to buy
space-
Twitter. Here, he's going on a little too long about something. Bloomberg, Elon Musk, Senate Democrats. Bloomberg, Senate Democrats. No, wait. Congress, Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Congress. Whatever. It's already falling apart like a game of telephone. Too many words. Don't think too long. Senate Democrats have some questions. Yes, I accept. Some key Senate Democrats are considering calling Elon Musk to testify on his plans to remake Twitter amid broader calls in Congress for new regulations for tech and social media companies. Don't need that. There are no imminent plans for hearings, but we're thinking about it, Senate Commerce Chair Maria Cantwell said in an interview Thursday. The Washington State Democrat noted the committee has previously had hearings with former Twitter Inc. Chief Executive Jack Dorsey, Meta Platforms Inc. CEO Mark Zuckerberg, and Alphabet Inc. CEO Sundar Pichai. Okay. So this is, I'll just let him tell it then.
Whatever you might call it. Suddenly,
I understand a little better.
it matters.
I don't like being teased that long.
I don't understand. I mean, what do they mean? I thought none of this mattered. I thought it was a private company and they could do what they
See,
want.
Unfortunately,
Lawmakers
that's
cite
why I watch
social
this stuff. I agree with him.
Part in public discourse.
But I was a little
Some
confused
Senate
because
Democrats are considering calling Elon Musk to testify.
what do
on
they
his
want him to
plans
say?
Twitter amid
We're not
growing
gonna?
calls in Congress Congress for new regulations for
See if
tech
it's
and
even
social
any
media
different.
companies. I mean, it's right there, friends. It's happening right in front of us.
Yep.
If something happened in front of you, would you instinctively know to keep it in frame? It's happening right in front of our faces. Why are the Democrats all of a sudden worried?
Because they don't like how this got turned around on
They
them.
know, and they've known for years, that as long as they
Look, we have people in Canada who are panicking about this stuff. We have Canadians who are worrying about what's going on in America for no other reason than America has a lot of power that keeps liberals in power in other countries. When the liberal, when leftists, I guess that's how this game works, lose that in one place, especially somewhere as powerful as Silicon Valley, of course they're going to start freaking out. They're allowed to accuse whoever they want of being Nazis and stuff like that, but the moment one of them turns out to be a pedophile, you're not allowed to say that. You have to cover it up. You have to hide it. Oh, well, our side has some. No, you trust me. All sides have an issue, but how about we just? That's why I say no politicians. Stop voting. Stop going.
just kind of don't pick at that scab.
Doesn't matter which side is worse. Don't pick either.
And Twitter, and also YouTube, really, that they'll continue to benefit from its many partisan shenanigans, in my opinion.
They'll
Things
always
like
be that way.
shadow banning going one way. I just passed 200,000 followers on Twitter.
I
never ever thought.
Here, just to help me out, you can follow me on Twitter at the John Hobo. I'd greatly appreciate it. I need some help.
That would be possible. Suddenly, in the last week, 2 weeks, people are seeing my tweets. What a coincidence!
Yeah.
Some key Senate
Okay.
Democrats are considering calling Elon Musk to testify on his plans to remake Twitter amid broader calls in Congress for new regulations. There are no imminent plans for hearing, but we're thinking about it. Senate Commerce Chair Maria Cantwell said in an interview Thursday. The Washington State Democrat noted that the committee has previously had hearings with former Twitter Inc. Chief Executive Jack Dorsey, Meta Platform Inc. CEO Mark Zuckerberg, and Alphabet Inc. CEO.
The Jack Dorsey one, I think, was a little informative. I watched more of that one. I watched the basically meme edits of Mark Zuckerberg's. I don't know who that last guy is.
CEO Sundar.
I'm sure the guy I interviewed at Google selling Chromebooks would have loved to hear that. Do you know who our CEO is?
Chai, they were questioned about decades-old legal shield that protects social media companies from liability for users-generated content on their site, commonly referred to as Section 230. And if you remember, like I know you do, those hearings were an absolute joke.
They were.
There was no feet to the fire in that.
No.
It was all.
But I think you could learn, if I remember correctly. The Jack Dorsey one was pretty.
A few people got, some viral clips, but
It showed enough.
Nothing changed.
Maybe misremembering it. So
now suddenly they're sharpening their knives and like, yeah, Elon's buying it. We've gotta do it. The Tesla CEO earlier this week agreed to buy Twitter. We know Musk didn't respond to a request for comment on his willingness to testify, and also Twitter declined to comment.
I don't think you should have to.
Markey, a member of
There's no reason.
Who has called for new laws regulating large tech companies, said in a
it's his company. He can do whatever he wants. He can shut the thing down.
Even Twitter's important.
I think he really should shut down the headquarters and turn it into a homeless shelter and then just make them work from home right now. Buy a nice server spot or wherever that works. Make them work from home.
I wonder why the Democrats are so aware of that. It's a technology which is central to our democracy and our economy, and it's important for the representatives of the American people to hear what the new owners intend on using.
Video is quiet. I'll turn it up. Oh, shoot. That's not started.
That technology to accomplish. Really? Boy,
is that better?
These people really are afraid of free speech, aren't they?
It's because the Warcraft Arclight Rumble video was rather loud.
Constitution. They really are afraid of it. And that should, make you afraid, because it's absolutely insane to me that this continues to be like any kind of like, where are people with like digital pitchforks saying like, wait
That's
a
good.
minute now wait a minute.
It's just Elon Musk being called to testify. He might be. He hasn't actually been. I guess they're just talking about it. I don't think he should have to. There's no, like, he just bought the company literally up until a week ago. The owners of Twitter could do whatever they want, shadow ban it, put up these protocols that prevent people from being viewed in the threads. There's a website you can go to get that all checked out. If he takes all that away, what's the matter? Do you not trust yourself to be able to talk your friends and people you care about out of crazy ideas? If you do not feel comfortable being able to do that, don't worry about it. Accept the things you cannot change. Love them for the way they think anyway. You're not going to change their mind. No, if you're not going to change their mind, you're not going to change their mind.
Why is suddenly everything this such an issue? Why? We have to understand the censorship or lack thereof, content moderation or not, that is going to be the policy for the new owner. Well, first of all, I don't think that Elon Musk is entitled, or I'm sorry, I don't think that he has to say any of that. I don't think he has to give any of that information to them. And second of all, he doesn't even own it. So he doesn't even own it yet. We're talking 6 months of this. Strap in, boys and girls. We're going to be talking about Elon Musk and Twitter a lot.
That's true, isn't it? These deals take a long time to go through, and they are going to talk about this nonstop. They're going to try it. Well, we need these protections, and I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't be surprised if he just went missing somehow. This is getting ridiculous. It's just Twitter. You're not going to change people's minds by kicking them off to other platforms. And if you leave and go start your own platform, you're just not helping. You're better off staying, talking, trying to change people's minds by engaging with them in a calm and peaceful manner. There is no reason to be yelling and hollering at people because you find your opinion to be any more valid than anybody else's. I just turned myself up a little because I think I wasn't setting it off enough. Let me know if you can hear the fan in the background though, because I'll just shut it off. It's kind of cold in here anyway. But yeah, you're not going to be changing anybody's minds by kicking them off to another platform, making them go elsewhere. I think everybody should naturally move to these other platforms as time moves on, in kind of like how people migrated across the world. Perhaps Facebook is dead and maybe it'll be Minds, or in some weird way, maybe, I don't know, something like maybe Twitch adds in something that's a Facebook equivalent that fixes all of their issues and people start migrating there. Or perhaps YouTube fixes their chat problem and that you start having profiles like you had over at MySpace or something. I don't know. I didn't mean to push it ahead.
For Congress to play. Yeah, I mean, don't worry about, stemming immigration.
Yeah.
Don't worry about inflation being completely out of hand. And you see how Congress can prevent
how to put a new European Union law is a roadmap for how to put the onus on social media companies to monitor and remove harmful content and hit them with big fines if they don't.
Elon from turning Twitter back into an unfettered disinformation
machine. But it was never the internet is an unfettered disinformation machine. That's what makes it great. You can learn what is real and what isn't. Let's be perfectly honest. There's still nothing that proves humans can make sense of anything going on around them anyway. Just filters that are hard yeses, hard no's, soft yeses, soft no's. I might believe in this, I might believe in that. We're all looking at it from our own angle.
When was this period, by the way?
What?
When
Yeah, see? Yeah, that's enough for that one. I'm basically, he's just gonna be pausing before he says says what I'm saying anyway. So I'm just gonna leave it there. This I'm kind of interested in because editor of Toronto blog that tried to cancel Dave Portnoy leaves him speechless. This I guess is from their thing. I'll go back and I'll like that quartering piece later.
I believe the author of the article is here.
It's not the author.
Not the author.
No, it's not the okay.
It's the editor.
It's the editor.
Yes.
Let her in.
Hello.
Okay, I am
You guys
interested in
ready?
this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, how
Welcome.
you doing?
Good.
Oh my god. This is the editor for the Toronto blog. Really? She seems like somebody from Toronto. Oh my god. I'm going to have to show this to Allison later.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
This is
Lauren
nuts.
O'Neill, right?
That's me.
So we went back and forth. First of all, for the background, we talked about a little bit. I'm in Toronto for the week.
Are you not supposed to?
Uh,
Never mind.
promoting the score and eating pizza because I eat pizza everywhere I go. So I have a laundry
Yeah.
list of places that have reached out. I've asked for recommendations, and I started eating the pizza.
Yeah, you can go on Twitter and Instagram, TikTok, I think as well. And all it is him walking out of a restaurant, eating a piece of cardboard, and then complaining that it tastes like cardboard.
So I'm on my way. I do my 2 pizza reviews, and then I start getting forwarded an article from Blog TO, and it's basically like controversial figure Dave Portnoy coming to Toronto to eat.
Yeah, if you're like associated with the right wing, it doesn't matter if you are. I'm not saying that. If you're associated with the right, Canada hates you. I don't know why. I mean, I don't. I genuinely love everyone, but everywhere I go, everybody's like, I hate Donald Trump. I hate this figure. I hate that figure. You're Canadian. You love everything American, you idiots. Everything we have is either American or Chinese. So we're like capitalist commie lovers. It's really weird. We have a really bizarre national identity that's built on like hating other people, but being like totally kind to their face. We're like the worst friend in high school who's always talking behind other people's backs. Oh yeah, we love the queen, but she's an old bitch. Like, man, every time she walks by, she ages everything in the room. It's like, why? What's wrong with us? Oh, but we love her. She's so sweet. We'll always watch her annual tea party, and we'll book tickets to go in the rain too. We've got her commemorative plates. We've got plates of her daughter. No, Canadians are just really like everything you think, just swap it. And we as a country should be more accepting of that, of our real selves. But we're not. We're very ashamed of it. So then we turn around, we attack ourselves for totally random things. And then we end up with our foot in our mouths, like what I'm guessing is going to happen here.
Pizza, fine, I can live with that. But what seemingly had happened is Blog TO had started calling local pizza places and being like, what you pizza places that have reached out, like the ones I weren't even aware of that were mentioned, but had reached out somehow being like, hey, Dave, come eat pizza here. And then somebody called and was like, are you aware of this guy's like controversies, allegations? Do you still want him to come eat pizza? Two
What
of which
the
were like, well, we didn't know that.
Yeah, we didn't know he was really into teenage girls. Where'd that come from? That's what I mean, is media organizations are acting like some sort of defenders of the truth when they're not even properly telling the story. One second, I want to
Are
see
you
your face.
aware of this guy's like controversies, allegations? Do you still want him to come eat pizza? Two of which were like, well, we didn't
Aware
know
of
that.
it.
We no longer extend our invite.
We know.
One of which since has been like, that's not what we said. That's been taken out of context. They did an Instagram post being like, we love you, Dave. This is
Please eat our cardboard pizza. Please. We're one of like 400 trillion Toronto pizzerias. We just need a little bit of help. I've never had a Toronto pizza. It can't be any worse than Ottawa pizza. Ottawa pizza is weird. Like, I can probably make fun of Toronto for being the rich city all day long. They're rich in the sense of like Ottawa always has like this old money feel to it everywhere you go. So anytime somebody who's been there for too long tells me there's good pizza at a certain place, it's like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Even my dad, he'll come down. Because honestly, weirdly enough, the town I grew up, or the city nearest the town I grew up in where I currently inhabit, pizza great everywhere. 5-minute walk, I'm getting good pizza everywhere. You just ask the pizza here to put a little bit of extra, mozzarella on the pizza. It's perfect. But it can't be any worse than Ottawa, is what I'm saying. So I don't know how bad the pizza is. I'm just calling it cardboard for fun.
We've been wildly misrepresented. So I went on a blog.
Yeah, I'm wildly misrepresenting the Toronto
and
pizza.
To your credit, because most of the times these things happen, nobody's willing to go on
and
talk about it. So you were the editor who assigned the story.
Yeah, so I'm the senior news editor at BlogTO, and what we do is essentially cover the city, everything that's going on in the city, and a huge focus of ours is the food scene. So, I mean, we saw that you were in town, seeing different restaurants reach out, and it's like, wow, Dave Portnoy's here for the Red Sox game, and he's a pizza influencer. And an influential media figure. We should write something about this.
So we decided to make up a totally. We didn't know whether we didn't want to pin a certain controversy to you. We just know you're a controversial figure. We know you've spoken to people who may or may not have done things to other people, like Joe Rogan. He fought people. I know that once. He was on TV taking his shirt off. He was really close to that one girl in that show. Oh, wait, that wasn't real.
I assigned the story to one of our writers who actually specializes in food writing and restaurant reviews and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I thought she was gonna be like, yeah, she tests out cakes and she reviews that. No, okay, restaurants, good.
They were just trying to do their due diligence and reaching out to restaurants and being like, hey, we want comment. Are you aware of this? I think in the course of her research, she kind of saw that there were some pretty serious allegations, not in court or anything, but.
What a shitty thing to do. That's like that Taylor Lorenz thing, doxing that Twitter account. I don't think I want to bring too much info to that now that it's been a couple of days, but everybody probably knows what I'm talking about. It's basically like she's like, well, we need a story. We need to talk about something. We're a blog, We're a well-respected news media source. We're right up there with Global TV. If I have any international viewers, they're like, what the hell is that? Global TV is like, somehow people like it in Canada. I thought genuinely, I thought CTV was better, but it isn't. None of that means anything to anyone, but still.
So
we don't have like a Fox News.
Raise that to them and just kind of get their take on it. And, to be fair, some of the restaurants were like, we don't care. We like his pizza reviews. Like,
we don't care. We like it when he takes soggy cardboard and then complains or gives it a thumbs up. And then everybody claps and goes, yeah, when I'm ever in that city, which I'll never be in that city, I'm going to get that pizza. It's like, I think that all the time. They'll show a nice pie from a place. They'll be like, yeah, if I'm ever in that city, and I think to myself, why the hell would I go there? Especially just for the pizza. I'd rather get a shitty pizza in Egypt and stare at the pyramids and be like, yeah. I go to Italy and get one of those like weird oval shaped ones and stare at the Colosseum. Or go to Greek and find Tom Hanks on his new personal Epstein. No, I'm kidding. I forget where I heard that. That's why he moved to Greece.
One of them even said, he's like, we'll leave that for court to decide. So we had no intention of just like doing a hit piece on you. It was more.
We had no intention of doing a hit piece on you. It's just that it comes off like a hit piece. It wasn't meant to be, though.
Oh, Big Time Pizza Guy is in Toronto.
Big Time Pizza Guy.
For this American celebrity to try their pie. And I think when it came out, the way that your audience, your very, very loyal audience members took it to be a little like we were doing just a slam piece.
That's exactly what it looked like. One second. I'm not as ardent a reporter like the Quartering. I don't really use those whatchamahoozits and thingamabobs and figure out where. I gotta go back further. Oh shoot! Here we go. Log. Log two. Oh my god! I gotta go back further. Oh no, I'm stupid. That's true. I didn't understand. Like, I thought my browser had like 52 gigabytes of stuff that needed to be deleted when I was getting rid of stuff. So I'm like, yep, get rid of that. I was really, you know, and that's all gone. So I'm going to Google it quickly. But blog.to. Blog.to. Dave Portnoy. That had to be nice. Toronto restaurants offering controversial Barstool Sports present. Yeah, here it is. I think this was that. That doesn't seem like the right one. Toronto and already hates. Well, here, this might have it. Blue Jays beat them. Woo! Honest. Okay, so here it is. But do they have the article? Same one. Yes, it is. Okay, so yeah, this. How does this not come off as a slam piece? Toronto restaurants offering controversial Barstool Sports president Dave Portnoy pizza. It really does kind of look like a really tall child, right? Like, no offense to him, but I've seen so many where they like shrink them down and they make them all goofy. I think that's hilarious. I love it. I hope somebody does that to me one of these days. They catch me walking, they turn me into like one of those little dumpy fellas. When controversial, yeah, I don't really need to read the article, but and some revolting allegations against him, which he's denied in a Twitter video. So this is Canada, by the way. I'll read this after.
And they've since kind of come at us, which is fine. We're used to it. Like, this stuff happens. But I just wanted to set the record straight and be
What
like,
a joke.
She was just doing her job in writing that story.
Yeah?
It wasn't like a personal vendetta or anything like that. I mean, it was literally just doing research and reporting on what she found.
But
Okay.
I guess my question is, if you're first of all, people can say anything about anybody, right? So there are serious allegations. I feel like I've done a very good job of proving them not to be true, and I'm actually suing Business Insider because they're patently false. But from a reporter angle, if you pick up the phone and somebody's like, so I saw you reaching out to Portnoy, do you know this about him? All serious, like, you're kind of putting...
Yeah, it's here.
In my mind, that local pizzeria in a box. Like,
it's asking a loaded question. It's being like, it's basically, when did you know that Dave Portnoy never stopped beating his wife? I don't even know if he's married. That's gross. Are you aware that he still picks up underage Asian hookers? Like, how do you fight? Especially when you're not there to defend yourself, they're just randomly calling people up. That's shitty. And that's basically, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it's par for the course for Toronto. It's basically our, what's it called? At Los Angeles. I wanted to call it California for a second.
What are they supposed? I assume they're totally caught off guard. Like, what are they supposed to say? And for the most part, my pizza reviews can change the trajectory if I like it. And most of the time, even if I don't like it, it helps. But
even if I don't like it, it helps. Well, I'd hope. I'd hope the pizza guy standing there like, Dave Portnoy just shat on my pizza. He said it was too dry. Better add some more, probably oil or water, not to the already cooked ones. That'd be weird as hell. Sticks in a proofer.
The course for a small business. What is the advantage of
Dave Portnoy, decider of pizza fate? your restaurant can either grow or fail should he deny you that.
Like if someone called me out of the blue and like, hey, do you know the devil's coming to your pizza restaurant? You really want him? Like, what did you? That's why I do think it's a hit piece. What kind of angle were you expecting, or what's the answer that you're hoping to get from these?
I thought it was pretty shocking. First off, when I read that on Twitter, I'm like, holy shit, Dave Portnoy's coming to Toronto. Second off, it was holy shit, I forgot people had allegations against him. And then it was, wait, why would they say it like this? Why couldn't they have found a better way of being like, hey, Dave Portnoy's coming to Toronto. You can catch him at the Blues and the Red Sox game. He's going to be going getting pizzas at this, and this place. If you want to catch him, be like, I don't know. Isn't that what like the paparazzi were supposed to do? They're supposed to be like, yeah, you can catch this weirdo over here, and you can catch that weirdo over there, and you can catch this one over there. And Amber Heard's going to be taking a shit at the, it doesn't really matter, right?
I'm not really sure what answer the reporter was expecting. I just know that she was kind of doing her journalistic due diligence and just raising.
That is not journalistic due diligence.
This person who has these unproven allegations, and
unproven allegations. That's the thing. Why are you spreading them then? Well, just in case they don't know. Does everybody know that? Do you know that BlogTO is a hack company that employs hack journalists? I mean, it's a blog. I don't, can you really call, shouldn't they be called bloggers? Not journalists. They're bloggers. What? Do I host a night show now because I stream after 6? Doesn't matter. So Dave Portnoy was visiting Toronto for the Blue Jays Red Sox game. And he was going to these pizzerias to do his little pizza thingamajig. And BlogTO decided to write a hit piece. Toronto restaurants offering controversial Barstool Sports president Dave Portnoy pizza. Because he has these controversial allegations that have not been proven in court. And he just mentioned he was taking Business Insider to court for these unfounded allegations, and we're going forward and printing them and hurting his image. Anyways, this is the editor who put the journalist, blogger, it's a friggin' blog. It's a blog. This blogger on to go and call these places and be like, hey, did you know that Dave Portnoy has serious allegations against him, and you offered to give him a free pizza? And they went around and did this to a couple of different restaurants. And at least one of them or two of them made statements, one of which had it taken out of context, where they're like, well, no, we didn't really say we didn't want them. We just, I don't know what they said, obviously. But so we got this. Listen to this Toronto lady. That's exactly what she sounds like, too. It's crazy, man.
You did mention in the story that you've defended them, you deny them, that, it's a controversial, kind of polarizing figure. Are you aware of that? I do recognize that your pizza reviews have the ability to make and bake businesses. And we have so many businesses in Toronto that have been shutting down because of the pandemic. We're very happy, for any business to get exposure. And that's a lot of what we do. So I don't think the idea was ever to villainize or kind of put
she's looking more and more worried as this goes on, because I don't think she knows exactly what was said. I think I get the feeling she hung up. She called up her blogger journalist and I would have laid into them. I'd have been like, what did you set me up for? How could you do this to me?
So I don't know what the reporter said, which I by the way, I noticed her name, and I won't mention it. You guys asked me not to, but it was on the article, then taken off, which I don't think is fair. But
yeah, that's true. Daily Hive. Oh, wait, it's not it either.
I can't ask her.
Was it? Is it really? Staff. But that's what I was telling you earlier about Canadians being like this weak-spined group. Still to this day, okay, you shouldn't make anyone cry, but journalists, I don't care until all of journalism starts over again and tries to make themselves better. Journalists aren't people. They're crazy, unhinged as most of us, if not worse. But Glenn McGregor trying to cover the trucker convoy and them just basically turning on him was just gorgeous. Just that single tear that runs before they cut away from him. It's sad, but at the same time, like, what do you want from people here?
Hey, this is the guy. Are you excited that the guy who raised $40 million for local business is
Yeah,
coming
where?
to your restaurant?
That should have been what they.
I can tell you what was said.
I can
in some
tell you.
cases because it happened
In
on
some
Instagram.
cases.
We talked to a lot of our restaurants there, so it was basically like just reaching out as I saw you commented on Dave Portnoy's post
Yep.
offering him pizza. I'm writing a post about the visit. Would like to get comment from you on whether you're a fan of his, if you know about the allegations against him, and if they affect your desire for him to visit your restaurant and try your food. That was it. And so Ambassador
But that was it for one. She said they spoke to multiple ones and they asked different questions to each, didn't she?
Pizza had actually said that they had said what they said happened on Instagram is not what happened. Like they had responded to us. There might have been a miscommunication, but they essentially
There might have been a miscommunication. Oh no! So she knows that she's probably only reading one and that there are others, and she's like, she's trying to defend herself. Like that's what I love about Canadian media, especially these like fake ones, because we are the worst facsimile of America. We try to do like our own version of these like famous city blogs out there, and then because we're Canadian and we're kind of, yeah, I'd say it. I said it a few times now. We're kind of spineless as a country, right? We can't just kind of be like, yeah, we were shit. We shouldn't have done that. Next time you won't catch us. Kind of like what TMZ basically always does, right? Like they get caught for doing stupid shit, tracking people down when they really shouldn't be, and they're like, we'll never do it again. And they just hire some poor sap to go, and then he's like, what the And they're like, hey, sucks to be you, bud. I don't know. I don't remember much about TMZ, but basically that's the gist of it, right? We try to be like out there, but we don't have the backbone for it. We're like, well, we need to make up some slimy little story that kind of muddles whether it's a gray area that we're good at doing. Gray area things. Actually, in high school, I remember basically we were taught it was kind of a good thing. All the people we turned away during World War II and all that stuff.
Like,
anyway,
we're really busy with the lunch rush. We'll give you a statement later. We'll give you a statement, and they're like, "Oh, we have pulled our post. That's it."
We've pulled our post.
I don't know. Like, this was
She's
a
getting dry
decision to make. I think that a lot of restaurants were just like, "We don't care."
She looks like she's getting unhinged.
Even what you said, like, there's a ton of negative press about me, but there's a ton of positive press about me. By what you just read, the only thing you really said to them was negative.
Yeah.
I understand how it would look like that. I mean, the intent.
What do you mean? All you said was, are you aware about the allegations against him? Not once did you say, hey, he's also raised $4 million for local businesses. He's turned companies around in a way that's probably quicker than a 1 hour, 7-week or 7-day filming of Gordon Ramsay going to a restaurant where finally at the end of it, no, he's doing something. It's quick, it's done, it's easy. Like I said, I've watched a couple of them. I don't even watch them all the way through. All that matters is him stepping out of the restaurant with the pie in his hand, pulling out a slice, eating it and saying it tastes like cardboard, or, oh, this is the best dough that I've ever had.
With assigning the story, and I'm sure writing the story was more to just be like, I think you were portrayed as, it was written neutrally, but you're portrayed as
written neutrally. We'll find out in a second, won't we?
There's a big time pizza critic coming to town, and this is how Toronto restaurants are reacting. And so I think that the author felt it was kind of just due diligence to mention that,
this is terrible.
You are a controversial figure. Barstool is controversial. You know, while it's very, very successful, there are people who hate on your media outlet. And I mean, the reason we had to take the writers.
There are people who hate on your media outlet.
You also have very, very many fans, and they were kind of going after her. So,
which I think is fair. Like I do think that like she puts her name on something. Again, when you say it's two-sided, it's like the headline is Toronto restaurants offering controversial Barstool Sports Press Dave Portnoy pizza. It mentions all the controversies. There is no, like, to me, what I think I've done a very good job brewing faults. I think the most signature thing I've done in a food beverage restaurant industry is like the Barstool Fund, which again, it was $40 million.
Oh, yeah.
Is a lot of money. I would argue.
I remember
I'm
when he
sure
put
there's
that
people
out.
who's done
I think that was shortly
as
after.
much or
Shortly after that,
similar.
people started coming
What I
after
did
him.
in that industry was as big.
People want
Oh,
to
sorry.
read stuff about controversies. We work in. I think
Pizza.
Back it
no,
up there.
we weren't trying aware of that has done over the course of COVID. There's no mention of that to the restaurants to call up and instead focus on the negative stuff, which again I deny without me being able to do it. It puts these places in a box. I don't.
They don't even know. They don't
anyone
really say he denies them,
rationally
though, do they?
Looking
We'll
at
have
that
to read it.
article can be like, well, no, we weren't trying to do that to the restaurants, and we weren't. There was no agenda to try to make you look bad. Like,
Right.
there's plenty of people who can write articles that pizza critic Dave Portnoy is coming and talk about everything I've done in that without turning it into a negative light, which I clearly think is what this article did.
I think it's important to
She
realize,
needs
like,
to
you make a
really
fair
make
point.
it
I get what you're saying totally.
push.
The industry that we work in is very
Clickbaity?
clicks sell, rage clicks sell. You know, people want to read stuff about controversy. So if we put
Yeah.
controversial, you know, American pizza guy is in the headline, that is going to get a lot more attention than, like, you know.
But
really
you
nice
could have
to,
said
yes,
something nice.
all of this great
She's not
stuff is
wrong.
coming to Toronto.
She's not wrong. She could have written controversial figure Dave Portnoy coming to Toronto for a baseball game and testing pizza. And then right in it, he's controversial because he's donated, he raised $4 million for this stuff, but he has some allegations against him. He has denied these allegations. That is not why he's here. He's here because of his Barstool Sports Fund or trying to help people get with their pizza businesses go up. I mean, I think it would be awesome if he was ever in the area for him to go stop around in some of the places in Cornwall, put Cornwall back on the map. We're literally right next to the border, and I've heard people say they've just driven straight through Cornwall, straight up to Ottawa, straight down to Montreal. They've gone to wherever they just passed right through, and they got a meal on the way. They got a pizza elsewhere. They didn't decide to stay here. Cornwall's not a terrible place. I mean, it's not the greatest. It's not a terrible place. And it'd be great for someone to come in and be like, hey, yeah, Roma's pizza is pretty good. And Roma's pizza is pretty good.
You know how it is, and I don't think we ever meant to throw you under the bus on that, but I don't think that we also realized that you would even see it. Like, we're a Toronto blog, you're like the El Presidente, so I think
we're a humble little blog. Please don't step on us, Mr. Portnoy. My God. That's exactly Toronto. Pick a fight with somebody else and then just duck. That's why honestly, they have a great not hockey team. I meant baseball. I like their baseball team, but when it comes to hockey, God no. I think they won once recently, or did they win twice? Nothing big though. I don't think so. Otherwise, somebody would have told me about it. I used to like them. Now, of course, people still meme on me about it. I've moved on to Montreal Canadiens. Because I was picturing the Senators. I'm like, no. Nothing Ottawa. I'd rather stick with Toronto now.
sometimes
I don't
we
even care
write
how
about
good they are. Ottawa can suck a
influential and,
big toe.
famous figures. We can maybe, and not us, like a lot of outlets can kind of sometimes just glaze over the good aspects in the interest of making a story spicy and shareable.
Eddie, I hate that I like that answer.
See,
I mean,
she's not exactly wrong, but
and what she says is true, and I feel like that explained. Whatever, that's a good answer. I fucking hate that she gave that answer because that is true, and I know that to be true. But I have also found very few people who look me in the face and say what you just said about that.
True.
But I do see everything because our fans are nuts. And by the way, you're seeing the life cycle of what gets me in trouble because her taking like the name off because I don't basically brush things off. It's like, okay, you're coming at me. Let's go to war. Like, if that's how we want to do this, that's how we'll do it. And very few people are willing to have this discussion, but yeah.
Well, like clickbait articles do so. Weirdly enough, I don't know what the hell happened, but at least on YouTube, my clickbaitier videos have like 2 or 3 more views. Be great if people could go check it out. John Hobo Cuts. I got to get some more up there. Trying to relearn Shotcut right now, but over on Rumble, at least up until recently, my most clickbaity videos also had like 5, 6 more views than anything else. I don't know what happened. Am I the only one? But see, the problem is, I think clickbait, it isn't like for me, clickbait, it isn't exactly true. And I think that's a problem, is the title is clickbaity, but the article is basically true. They plan on killing off the Justice League in 2022, and that's basically what the title is. So for me, I'm like, that's not clickbait. That's normal. That's exactly what the video is about. Meanwhile, people are like, oh, they're going to die. It's like, well, no, they are. That's not clickbait. I'm not lying. They're killing off most of them. They're surviving one. They showed another thing. I actually want to go over that. I may not even get to Fallout New Vegas today. I just thought of that. Holy hell. I got to go make a coffee still.
I don't know what to say, Eddie. That's a fairly decent answer. Like,
respect.
hate
Thank you for
clicks,
acknowledging
yeah.
that. You know.
yeah,
I want to ask you a question now. Is that okay?
sure.
Is that okay?
All of the pizza places that you've tried in Toronto so far, which one is the best?
I've only done 2. So, yeah, and I posted the one.
Yeah, he's only here. I think he was only here for a couple of days, wasn't he? He was. Do you think when he goes to a city he eats breakfast, lunch? I mean, I would. But you've seen me get up and go to the kitchen. So I could probably do it.
One, it was North Brooklyn, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And I did Maker, which comes out today, which I did not my style, did not like. That was probably the number 1 recommended. But I have about 15 others on the list. So after we do today, I'm gonna run around. I'm here 5 days. So
5 days. So there you go.
That we're gonna hit.
50.
Amazing. I know
Holy
you're gonna hit
moly!
Pizza.
People have recommended that. I know it's like drunk pizza, so I don't know.
Drunk
Maybe.
pizza?
It's not on the list, but I'm very aware of it.
See, pizza. If you're willing to spring, and not even spring, you could just what I do is if I'm just trying to make it with a little bit more flavor, I have them toss on some herbs. They'll toss on a little bit of spices. You could have them cook it a little longer. There's things you could do to make the pizza better.
All right, cool. I had to ask while I had the chance.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it kind of
Appreciate
ended
it.
this debate, so it sucks.
Sorry,
All right.
man. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
That was actually pretty nice. I like the way that ended. I don't know if there's anything I want to continue watching through that because I don't want to watch a whole thing. I just wanted to see her talking. But yeah, I guess I'll read through the article real fast and then I'll go make a coffee quickly and I'll come back and we'll get through the rest of this, because I think after this it really was the Amber Heard thing, bit of that, and then siblings, alien stuff is obviously later. So yeah, when controversial Barstool Sports president Dave Portnoy announced he'd be coming to Toronto, you'd think at least some people would be telling him to stay away, but a surprising number of restaurants are offering him food. Why? Barstool Sports is a media company with a raunchy angle that's intended to be humorous but often ends up towing the line of what people consider offensive. You need to have to try to be offensive to be funny, trust me. I don't go do... I would love to try stand up, bomb like 15 times first, and then maybe get it right once. But even I know that, just standing around with my friends. They laugh at the edgier humor, the more offensive stuff. Jokes I could never do on YouTube, probably. Just because I don't know what YouTube would allow if it got too big, you know. Portnoy is its president, and there are currently some revolting allegations against him, which he's denied in a Twitter video. What a weird way to dress to deny something. He announced he'd be visiting Toronto in a video posted on his social media to the delight of many restaurants and food lovers. One of the things Portnoy is particularly known for doing on one of those channels is reviewing food, specifically his One Bite Pizza reviews. It's possible some Toronto restaurants just aren't aware of his controversy, swirling around him and are offering him food in the hopes of getting promotion on his... Yes, and even if they did, it doesn't matter because he denied them. He's going to court. He's going to prove himself, and he's innocent until proven guilty. That's the country we live in. Unfortunately, you don't have the right to be like, well, the allegations could be true, so we must act like... No, we must act like he's innocent. That's it. The fact that so many... I don't... This is an American example, but all these people jumped onto the Christine Blasey Ford allegations against Justice Kavanaugh, and if anything, I'm sure that's what got him confirmed. The fact that people had to prove he was such a good person. They're like, well, basically, he's a saint. And this lady, well, Goggles here, she's out of her goddamn mind. Now it's possible something happened to her, but at the same time, it's possible she's just reading too many things and trying to help some people out, and that's the worst thing you could do. Yes, Mark's Pizzas commented. Hope to see you, Dave, commented Ambassador Pizza. Hey, Dave, hit me up, my guy. Wrote Patterson's Pizza. I got the best 6.7 you'll ever have. What a weird thing to say. Local restaurateur Adrian Neiman tagged his restaurant Blondie's Pizza, Dino's Pizza tagging itself. Hey, Dave, come give our pizza a try, wrote Mainstay Pizzeria Libretto. Come by Rosina's. We've got second in the world at Las Vegas Pizza Expo this year. Oh. I don't think that really matters if there's so many pizzerias that don't go, though. Italian bakery San Remo had offered Portnoy food in a comment, but changed their mind about it after Blogtier reached out, and the Tavertini restaurants were also warned of the allegations. As for coming over, saying they had been following his pizza adventures, we're no longer interested in having him come after he brought this to our attention. We would not have invited him to come by, as we're a family-operated and oriented restaurant. The hell does that mean? Dino's owner, Dino Ari, is less concerned, though also said he wasn't aware of any allegations. Wow, I like him because he promotes for local pizza stores. I don't know what the allegations are about him, Ari tells BlogTO. If he did anything bad and guilty, the court will punish him. See, innocent until proven pizza. I mean, proven innocent until proven guilty. I was trying to get the next words in place. Innocent until proven pizza. For pizza, I would like him to come to my pizza shop, and try the best wood-burning pizza in Toronto. I would like to know his comment because he is an expert. Portnoy arrived in Toronto on April 25th, again posting a video about it on the social media, with lots of commentary from people recommending pizza places. Well, see, it wasn't that bad, was it? So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go make a coffee. I'll let some music play. I'm going to toss on the Be Right Back screen because I can't be totally certain how long I'll be. So, don't go anywhere, but I'll be right back. Oh, got a coffee. I've returned. So I'm just going to jump ahead, obviously. Nobody wants to sit through them deliberating here. Nobody's going to be chatting. Oh, shit. For first, like, 10 minutes anyhow.
Sure.
Yeah, let me back up. Is that the time, or is that how much time has been wasted? I think that's the time. So this is from Global News. Close those down. Copy. So now they're getting ready. There's the judge. Push forward a little. So there's Amber Heard there. There's Johnny Depp over here. Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. There's that fella, his lawyer. I've noticed they like to laugh a lot. It's good. You gotta laugh. Laugh or you'll cry. Oh shit, now I'm just hitting buttons. Jump ahead a little.
Yes, sir.
Oh. All rise so that somebody can walk. Oh wait, is this like the? Oh, I think I know what's happening. It's like the national anthem, isn't it? I'm just an idiot.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Dr. Hughes, if you can come back to the stand for me, please.
So this is honestly the first time I sit down to watch really any of this. Like I said, I might fast forward through some bits. I just want to check out what everybody's going on about, what everybody finds so funny. And Allison said this lady's funny. She's like
Good morning.
wacky or something.
You testified yesterday that you have to give careful attention to gendered stereotypes.
That is correct.
When you're talking about intimate partner violence, you have to pay attention to gendered stereotypes. And during your testimony, you in fact paid attention to gendered stereotypes, correct?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, you said we were going to have to pay attention to gendered stereotypes.
Yeah.
And then you testified at length where you referenced both men and women. You paid attention to those stereotypes during the course of your testimony, correct?
What I was saying was you have to pay attention to gendered stereotypes when you're conducting these evaluations. You can't assume all the time that the male is the perpetrator and the female is the victim. You have to go into the evaluation understanding that the male also could be the victim of intimate partner violence.
In fact, you're aware that there are large-scale studies that do say that IPV towards males does exist.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
And every time you referred to the characteristic of a victim of intimate partner violence yesterday, you used the pronouns she or her, didn't you?
I was using the she and her pronouns in this case because my determination was, as I stated, that Ms. Heard was the victim of intimate partner violence. That is why I was using the she, her pronouns.
So she was assuming.
You, in fact, said women gets into the relationship for all the right reasons. That's what you said. The woman gets into the relationship for all the right reasons. And then you say difficult for victim to extricate herself. You go on to say that she can and she should. Over and over, you use she, right?
I believe in this case I did because I was referencing this case where I found Ms. Heard to be the victim of intimate partner violence. It doesn't mean that men don't get into the relationship.
Oh, you just shook her head like you shouldn't have been doing that,
they
though.
do.
That's putting you in your place.
Nearly every time you reference
What is he doing over there?
the perpetrator of IPV, you use he or him, didn't you?
And it goes back to the same reasoning as I'm
Crush.
describing my understanding and my evaluation in
I said
this
Candy
matter.
Crush. I didn't
Of
say anything
course,
about you.
men can be perpetrators
Silly
and
dog, it's your
victims of
birthday.
intimate partner violence. That's well established in the research, and that's well established in my clinical practice as well.
Isn't the reason that you used the pronouns that you did that you almost always testify on behalf of a woman?
That's not correct.
You don't even
no.
remember the last time you testified on behalf of a man.
Well, I don't testify on behalf of someone. I testify as to the results of my evaluation. I frequently treat and assess male victims of childhood sexual abuse who are coming into treatment for abuse by their
But
Boy Scout
it's not the
leaders,
same
by their
thing
with a
that you're
coach, by
talking
their
about
teacher,
here.
by a trusted adult. I see them in therapy. I see them in forensic matters, in criminal cases.
I get her to help
So
me.
I treat and evaluate men
We'll sort through
the
all of
time.
my childhood
ask you about
psychological
treatment. I
abuse
asked you about
in
testimony.
moments.
You broke out your practice between treatment and testimony. I'm not asking about treatment. When's the last time you testified on behalf of a man?
I
gonna try and
testified
word it.
recently in a deposition on behalf of a man who was traumatized because he was wrongly convicted.
At the time of your deposition 6 weeks ago, you couldn't remember a single time you had testified on behalf of a man.
I testified in my deposition that I testified in a case of a man who was wrongly convicted about 20 years and suffered physical and sexual violence
she?
in prison, and I detailed the traumatic effects of that happened on that gentleman.
All right, why don't we take a look at your deposition?
Sure.
Uh-oh. Time to crack that water. They're giving them the good stuff.
All right, thank you.
At least it stays cold. I think it's because of all the metal in it. Genetically engineered water to stay cold.
All right. Transcript of the deposition that you gave March 28th, 2022, correct?
2022.
All right. Let's go to page 77.
She has more than 77 pages of what she said. Like, what did she do? Talk for 4 hours? 5 hours?
Let's look at page 78, line 8. So you can't recall a single instance where you were hired by the attorney representing the male in an IPV matter, correct?
In an IPV matter, not in a trauma matter or a child sexual abuse matter.
Okay, so that's the
Okay.
distinction. You don't have any recollection of ever testifying on behalf
And that's what
of a
he's been
male
saying this whole
in an
time.
IPV
Can you
matter.
remember the last time you've done
As
an
I stated
IPV?
yesterday, the very first case that I testified in was in a same-sex intimate partner violence where the man was the victim of
Wait,
another man.
so it wasn't, but that's not the same situation here. Amber Heard's not a man. This might be hard for Americans to understand, but men and women are different. They are. It's weird. You kick a man down there, you'll feel something. You kick a woman down there, you'll just hit a pubic bone. I'm not saying the individual won't be hurt. I'm saying your foot coming up there is going to feel something different.
I routinely treat and assess same-sex couples where then the female can be the perpetrator of another female, and the
But we're
male
not
can be
talking
the
about that.
perpetrator or a victim.
We know that in lesbian relationships, there's a disproportionate amount of spousal abuse taking place. That's not what we're here about. We're here because I think it's because Amber Heard took a shit in his bed and they fought all the time. She cut off his finger, allegedly.
Victim of his partner.
So, let me get this. You testified in a case where one male is alleged to have engaged in IPV against another male.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
All right. Okay. But that's the only one you remember. That's the only one you remember.
No, I've done this frequently. As you well know, most cases.
But
don't go
then
to
why
trial.
didn't you
I've
say
worked
that
on
in your
hundreds and
deposition?
Hundreds of cases. You've limited to testimony. Many cases don't come to trial, but I've issued reports and worked on many cases of same-sex intimate partner violence where men
Oh,
are
you
the
know what,
victims.
though?
But
She's
I
got to be
gotta ask you
careful
about
because a
testimony.
lot of her work could be overturned, I
And
guess.
I limited the question to testimony, and the only testimony that you remember is the same-sex couple, right?
There were multiple same-sex couples, I believe, that I testified
That you
in.
testified in court at trial.
I believe so, yes.
All right, but you didn't
Okay.
remember that in March.
I did remember that in March.
Okay. You're a
I don't think she. Wow. Yeah, that's what the paper says. Okay. So you're saying now you do? Yeah. But did you remember then? Yeah. So why'd you say you didn't? What are you talking about? It's like that wallet thing with Patrick.
professional witness, correct?
That's not correct.
No? You make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year testifying in court, correct?
Not testifying in court, I conduct thorough, comprehensive psychological evaluations of individuals who are involved in a court case. The majority of those cases never show up in a courtroom. And half of my practice and half of my income is about my clinical work with people who are coming to me for therapy.
Is she going to do like Jordan Peterson and every time she says like a clinical psychologist, is she going to do that? Because I love it when he does that. As a clinical psychiatrist, and then he just starts talking about what his job was. I would love it if she did that. Every time she mentioned that she's a clinical psychiatrist, she's like, I deal a lot with IPV victims and I deal a lot with same-sex cases. And in New York, you're going to, though.
Your income. I'm asking you whether you made hundreds of thousands of dollars a year testifying as an expert witness in court.
As you're phrasing that question, that's not correct. That would be the amount of income that I generate from my forensic practice. I testify perhaps maybe once or twice a year. Most of the work is done behind the scenes in evaluating individuals and issuing reports.
Okay, but there are 4 cases that would go to court. They just don't. Is that what?
You'll agree with me that a big part of that practice is providing expert witness testimony.
That's not correct.
No?
No? So you don't
That's
provide
not a big
expert
part of
witness
your
testimony.
practice.
If I testify twice a year, that's not a big part of my practice. All the other time is doing the work for the cases and evaluating the individuals and issuing reports.
So these are cases that are heading to court. They just never make it to court. So you only take the stand 2 times a year because the cases normally don't make it that far. Is she a snake oil salesman? Like, and what I mean by that is, does she, like, she's basically taking the side of the person who has enough money to pay for her, but probably has very flimsy chances of winning. And there's nothing wrong with that. There isn't. They're looking for this person's looking for the chance to be able to prove that they didn't do what they did. So they hire her. And this person clearly doesn't believe they've done anything wrong. So she's not doing anything wrong. She's like, yeah, this person doesn't believe they've done anything wrong. So I'll take their money. And if it turns out they did something wrong, well, I was just giving them a chance. Perfect. And she only has to really work 2 days a year. The rest of the time, she could just be asking them stupid ass questions like, and were your parents happy? No. They had a divorce? I bet mommy had a bunch of no. It was daddy in this case? Ooh, that sucks, doesn't it? And he didn't treat any of them well? Nope. What did I miss?
The individuals and issuing reports.
Nothing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What did she say wrong? 1 second. Because it seems like she's being allowed to sweat.
Is providing expert witness testimony.
That's not correct.
No? That's not a big part of your practice.
If I testify twice a year, that's not a big part of my practice. All the other time is doing the work for the cases.
Oh, was he
evaluating
riling her up?
Individuals and issuing reports.
I think he was riling her up to blow out her own credibility. Does that sound right? So she doesn't really do this. Uh-oh. I think that's what happened. I think she feels like she just blew her own credibility.
What percentage of work do you devote to...
Look at those pursed lips. Wow.
All right. What percentage of... All right. What percentage...
She looks pissed. I think I got it that time. One second. Yeah. This lady's mad. Even her eyebrows are turned down. Look at that. The outside? Isn't that nuts? She's mad. She let something go.
of work do you devote to forensic psychology?
Daggers, man.
As I stated yesterday, I say half and half clinical.
Wow,
half
she's good at
forensic,
this,
but
though.
I also have a substantial amount of time that I use in the professional activities.
Get
and
done without
serving
calling
on
him an asshole.
professional boards.
So, what portion of your practice do
And she didn't say it
provide
verbally,
expert
obviously.
witness services?
I'm not saying I'm an expert or anything.
I
either.
think
I'm
you're
just saying,
using
like,
the
that's one
expert
I've seen
witness
many
services
times.
synonymous with the forensic psychology part.
Wait, what?
I think you're using the expert witness services synonymous with the forensic psychology part of the practice. So the forensic psychology practice, what I do here today is one part of it, and it's a smaller part as opposed to all of the evaluations and individuals that I'm assessing.
Mm-hmm.
Your practice is successful enough that you maintain your offices on Madison Avenue in New York, correctly?
Correct. I've had that office
What is that
since
relevant?
2005.
Madison Avenue.
And you're sufficiently successful at your forensic work that you're able to perform
I'm not pulling
unpaid
it up
work at
on screen, but I am looking it up.
correct?
Correct, and I also do pro bono work as well.
There.
Oh, that's good.
In fact, you actually instruct
Most people
others
who suffer
on the
from
use of expert testimony in court
spousal
cases,
abuse are
correct?
not rich.
On the use and understanding trauma and violence abuse in the courtroom and how
Near
to,
the
for
Flatiron,
advocates
okay.
and people
Well,
who
I guess
could
it wouldn't
not
be near the
have
Flatiron.
this
it's long
level of
street.
training or experience, how to come into the courtroom and talk
Where
about
it is
very
now.
difficult issues of domestic violence. Yes.
All right. Can we pull up PX 1241?
Like the street, not the address. Again, I didn't actually pull that up.
Do you recognize that document?
Yes, it looks like the front page of a PowerPoint presentation
And it's a PowerPoint presentation given by whom?
by myself and Mary Ann Dutton, who is a very well-known
Okay.
and respected researcher and clinician in the area of domestic violence.
And what's the topic of the
I bet we can
PowerPoint
see this
you're
thing.
giving?
Expert witness testimony in cases involving domestic violence.
Okay. And who did you give this?
He looks kind of like he's just zoned out. Like
That
he's
was
zonked.
to the
He's gone.
National Clearinghouse for the Defense of Battered Women. That is an organization that provides legal services to women who have assaulted or killed their partners in self-defense.
Oh,
And
self-defense.
Mostly people who
Holy cow.
these individuals
Could you imagine
women
that?
they've seen in treatment are through shelter-based programs or through advocates, and those are individuals who don't really know how to come into the courtroom and talk, and that's what this presentation and training was for.
I'm going to move PX 1241 into evidence.
Any objection? All right, 1241 in evidence.
Did we get to see 1241?
Published or?
Yes, let's publish it to the jury. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Expert witness testimony in cases involving domestic violence presented by Marianne Dutton and Don Hughes. 11th webinar in the Expert Witness webinar series sponsored by the National Clearinghouse for the Defense of Battered Women. This project was supported by grant number 2011 TAX K61 awarded by the Office on Violence Against the... I don't think that matters.
All right. Why don't we pull up PX 1242?
TX 1242. So everybody's got to go in and hit these buttons and look at this stuff. God.
Do you recognize this document?
Yes, this also looks like a PowerPoint presentation that I gave.
Also looks like it.
What's the name of this PowerPoint presentation?
This is called the use of psychological experts in cases of domestic
Imagine she's just like,
violence.
I don't know what it's
It was
called.
presented
I
to
just
the
gave it.
Kings County Bar Association,
Drink
which is
some
in
water.
Brooklyn. And what this presentation talked about was some of the things that I talked to you all about yesterday, the myths and misconceptions in intimate partner violence, when women use force, what happens if they drop protective orders, how they present in court, and that's what this presentation was to attorneys at the Bar Association.
Okay, but this is another presentation that you gave as to the use of psychological experts, and you gave it to a bar association.
Right, they were prosecutors and defense attorneys in attendance at that Bar Association.
What the hell?
Your deposition.
What do you think a bar association is?
Testified that you were.
Those bartenders. It's gonna be lawyers. Lawyers are defense and prosecutors.
I did not testify.
Is there a third class I don't know of?
That's an error in the transcript.
Just a guy that sits in the middle of two of them looking at them like, yeah, I've got to be here.
The transcript.
We did not do an errata in the transcript at this point.
So you knew there was an error in the transcript, but you didn't fix it.
There were several errors in the transcript.
But you didn't fix any of them.
There was no time to fix them, that's correct.
All right.
There was no time.
So you're not being paid $100 an hour. How much are you getting paid?
I'm being paid $500 an hour.
Oh.
$500 an hour. And that's what.
Wow.
That's the bill you sent for your deposition, right? $500 an hour.
Correct.
We need you to give a deposition for Amber Heard. Okay. It's going to cost you $500. What? She shit a bed. I got to pay you $500 to tell me why? Yeah, it's because she was so psychologically tortured. She thought she was some sort of like, I don't know, bed shitter. Well, here's $500. Thank you. Trying to remember what you said today.
You submitted a number of disclosures in this case. You have not formed an opinion as to whether Mr. Depp committed intimate partner violence against Ms. Heard, correct?
Correct. I formed the opinion that Ms. Heard's report of the intimate partner violence is consistent with what we know in the literature about intimate partner violence.
It's consistent. What does that mean?
You have a limited role here, comparing individual data to group data, and then just determining whether it's consistent, correct?
I wouldn't say it's a limited role, but that's generally correct.
You wouldn't use the word limited role?
A limited role in terms of how we go about a forensic evaluation,
Mm-hmm.
not a limited role in this case.
Do you remember whether you used limited role in your deposition?
I don't. If you have it in front of me, you probably think I did, but sure.
And you have no independent knowledge.
I don't remember what I said. That deposition cost me $500. It cost you $500. You made me say all that
I have
stuff.
the knowledge of the plethora.
At least I got
documents that I've
$500
reviewed
worth.
in this case.
No, I'm asking you your independent firsthand knowledge. You have none of that, right?
You mean whether I was there?
Yeah, you weren't there.
Of course not.
Okay.
Of course not.
And you're not testifying to the veracity, the truthfulness of any of the allegations.
Correct. I'm testifying to the consistency of the data points of all the different documents, including the psychological testing and the clinical evaluation that I conducted of Ms.
She's a snake oil salesman. Anybody on Twitch could have done that. Anybody on YouTube could have just pulled up all the data points and been like, yeah, statistically, Amber Heard would be the victim. Hell, even I know that. I feel bad for Amber Heard. She basically went see one of those like really shitty low tier like psychics or fortune tellers. They're like, you're going to get old. And she's like, oh, here's some money. Tell me more of my future. Your hair is going to get shorter one day before it gets longer. Oh, thank you. What else? Your dinners will be in the evenings and your breakfast will always be in the mornings. Oh, thank you. There's $500 more.
And how that comports with the therapy records and all the other documents and the photos and texts that I reviewed.
And you have no personal knowledge of any abuse.
Correct, personally. Correct.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, I don't know if they're being abusive. His texts of, I want to set her body on fire and do all those things to it. That sounds like abuse to me, which it does, right? If that's what happened, that would have been abuse. Otherwise, it's just a really bad joking situation between friends who are trying to blow off some steam. But no, I don't know. Like, if you were to look at the text I send sometimes, like I just get bored and I randomly text Allison, when you get home, I'm gonna pick you up and I'm gonna throw you back out the window. She's like, why? It's like, I don't know. It just seems like a funny thing to say. And she's like, it really isn't. I'm like, I know. It's just, it came to mind when I went to say I love you instead. And I was like, you know what? What if how would she react if she just suddenly got a message like that? And I would never do that. That's like, I'm not a fighter. I mean, the only times I've won a fight is because I was hit enough that I'm like, okay, maybe I should fight back now. They're everybody can, like, don't hit back. 1 second. I didn't know it's still on there. Ah, sugar nut. 1 second. I lost my spot because of the dog. What was it? Yeah, there are things that are going to come off in text, and even when you're texting your friends, you might say something as a joke that they think is more serious, like, I'm going to kick the shit out of you for breaking the CD or something like that, even though you really don't care. They'll be like, oh my God, he's going to kill me for breaking a CD, because you're reading it in your own head. Your brain is making up the context and the tonality and everything like that. See if I'm at the right spot. I don't think I was.
The evaluation?
Okay. So, now, this is, who filled it out?
I filled it out.
Whose form is it?
My form.
Okay, so
I
that's
also
new.
Understood.
I don't think we've seen her
Never
yet.
had the feeling that Johnny intended to hurt.
Nope.
I'd have to look to make sure, but I believe that you're correct.
Assess a relationship without talking to both parties.
I think we're getting close. I'll try not to hit any keys while I'm over here. Might just kick that dog out of here. Chase her out. Pick her up, throw her out the window. She's like a 500-pound dog. Like a moose. It's not a dog. Come on. We're at 36 minutes and I broke the stream.
What is the significance of the TS?
Yeah, we're shortly after this.
To the use of psychological experts, and you gave it to a you weren't there.
Of course not.
Of course not. Here we are. So a couple seconds
Including
after.
the psychological testing and the clinical evaluation that I conducted of Ms. Heard, and how that comports with
I'll
the
leave it here.
therapy records and all the other documents and the photos and texts that I reviewed.
And you have no personal knowledge of any abuse.
Correct, personally. Correct.
Right. And all you know is what Ms. Heard self-reported to you and others.
That's not correct.
That's not correct. Okay, how isn't it?
Because
What
you
else
did
do you have?
Collateral interviews?
And I reviewed medical records, and I reviewed other witness statements of what they witnessed and what they saw.
What medical records? I thought she didn't go see her doctor.
And all of those statements.
Didn't her doctors, even just a couple days ago, didn't her doctors say he saw no pattern of abuse on her?
Those were statements that started with Ms. Heard, correct?
Not necessarily.
Well, the medical records did, didn't they?
Well, the medical records, if she's self-reporting what happened to her, sure. I mean, that's what we do when we go to a physician. We say, I have a headache. We're self-reporting our difficulties.
Yeah. Everything Ms. Heard reported directly to you was after she was sued by Mr. Depp in this case, correct?
Correct.
I'm trying to wipe my face. I don't have any stuff to wipe it.
And you didn't meet Ms. Heard until, what, September 2019?
That was the first evaluation appointment, correct.
How'd you get engaged?
Engaged?
Yeah, talking.
How'd you get hired to do this work?
I was contacted by the legal team.
Or were you interviewed by her legal team as to whether you were going to testify here?
I was not.
You were not interviewed?
I was not.
You were contacted?
Correct.
Had you worked with that legal team before?
I had.
Yeah. So they already knew who you were, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Right. And at any time that you were working with Ms. Heard or assessing Ms. Heard, she could have chose to fire you, correct?
I suppose her legal team could have chose to fire her. I was not her. She is not my client. The legal team is the one who hires me.
Okay.
And I am responsible to the legal team, not Ms. Heard.
And the legal team that hired
she
you
is.
already knew who you were. Because
She
you
got to
worked
keep that
together
straight face.
previously.
And clearly they knew of my expertise in this area of intimate partner violence and traumatic stress, which is why they contacted me to work on this matter.
All right. Several times yesterday, you used language about assessing Ms. Heard's relationship with Mr. Depp. Do you remember talking about that?
Sure.
I watched a little bit of that, but I wasn't.
You can't
I couldn't.
assess a
I was trying to play something.
relationship without talking to both parties, can you?
You certainly can get a lot of information from one party, absolutely.
Can you? Are you
And
sure?
especially when it's buttressed by other documents, including 4 years of therapy records and couples therapy records. You can get a lot of information based
not
on
really.
those documents and that
I wouldn't say so.
contemporaneous reports of the relationship.
Respectfully, I didn't ask whether you get a lot of information. I asked whether you can assess a relationship without talking to both parties.
Mhm.
I believe you can. There are certainly limitations.
You can get
inherent in
one
that,
side. You can
but
get a
certainly
one-sided
can.
story.
You talked to Ms. Heard for, what, approximately 30 hours, right?
Correct.
About
How long have you spent
about
with
as long
Mr.
as I've talked to
Depp?
Allison.
I did not spend any time with Mr. Depp. It was my understanding that he did not sit for a psychological evaluation.
Right. In fact, you never met Mr. Depp, have you?
I have not.
You haven't gotten his autograph?
Important to be able to assess
Really?
the relationship
He's right there.
between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard.
Pick up a piece of paper.
But
Be
I
like,
also read Mr.
All right,
Depp's
Johnny.
transcripts of his testimony. I watched his deposition testimony. I reviewed his medical records. I reviewed his text messages. So it's not necessarily totally.
Are we talking
blind
about the
if you
text
have
messages where he
information,
talked
although I'm
with
not making a conclusion
Vision
about
there
Mr.
about
Depp himself.
Is the standard now not necessarily totally blind?
poor taste, but it's funny. It really was.
I'm not
That's how
sure.
you assess
I don't
the
care what anybody
relationship.
says.
If it's not necessarily totally blind,
All,
I can
everything is
assess it.
funny.
No, we
You just don't
assess
get it.
as clinical psychologists relationships all the time. That's what we're trained to do. Certainly someone who's been trained in intimate partner violence to understand and look for the dynamics that happen in that relationship. And then when we have external data that supports what the individual is telling us, way before this legal case even came on the scene, that becomes very strong data to support that conclusion.
Let's talk about some of that data.
Sure.
All right? You chose to conduct some collateral interviews,
Correct.
right?
Collateral.
And you interviewed
Like people got
Dr.
hurt?
Bonnie Jacobs.
Correct.
And you looked at her notes,
Correct.
and you know that Miss Jacobs, Dr. Jacobs,
That looks like a teenager. It's weird.
doesn't know anything about.
I think that's the
version
worst
of
thing
what
about this
happened
whole
in
thing.
Australia.
She really doesn't look
Miss Heard
that
had
old.
already been sued, correct?
And Johnny Depp does.
I believe she was not in treatment
like she's
with
about to cry.
Dr. Jacobs at the time the Australia incident occurred, so that would be correct.
Is
She
that what
did
she's
reach
trying
out
to do? Look
Dr.
like she's
Connor
crying because of the
Owen about
Australia situation?
who she was treating with at that time contemporaneously.
All right, I'll ask you about Dr. Cohen. We'll get there. All right. So, you know that Miss Heard stopped seeing Dr. Jacobs in August 2014.
I don't know why you moved to
She didn't go
Australia.
back until
It's
after
a
she got
terrible
sick, right?
country. Everything wants to kill you.
I believe
Nothing's
that's the
cute.
date. I'd have to look to make sure, but I believe that you're correct.
Everything wants to bite you.
And you said you reviewed Dr.
Land wants to catch
you
fire.
interviewed Dr. Connell Cohen.
That's correct.
And you also reviewed his deposition testimony.
That's correct.
Honestly, only the hardiest Denisovans must have been able to get there.
And you know that he testified that when he was treating a patient, he assumes the patient is telling the truth, correct?
I believe he said something to that effect in his deposition.
And
If he has no reason to believe otherwise, if there's no other data to believe otherwise, that your patient's not being totally honest with you, then you believe what they're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
No other data to believe otherwise, but the sole thing that's happening is Ms. Heard is talking to Mr. Cohen, or Dr. Cohen.
I wouldn't say she's talking to him. She's going to him for therapy.
Mr.
and
Dr.
he's
Cohen.
using his clinical psychological expertise to understand the connection between her symptoms and what she's reporting, what's going on in her life.
All right.
All right.
But you understand that.
Whatever
he
your
testified that he
scientific
assumes
mumbo
the patient
jumbo
is telling the truth.
psychiatric words mean. We're moving on.
I understand that statement in his testimony. I have a lot more rich information of having spoken to him for 2 hours and reviewing his clinical notes.
He testified he was making a leap of faith with respect to that, right? With respect to the truthfulness.
Again, that was not my understanding of speaking with him and reviewing his notes. I'm aware he testified something to that effect.
All right. And you testified yesterday that Dr. Cohen never diagnosed Ms. Heard with any personality disorders. You remember that?
Yes.
In fact, Dr. Cohen's deposition testimony reflects the fact that he doesn't make diagnoses, correct?
Correct, and I asked him specifically, did he have any indications that even if he doesn't, as his practice, use them, does she meet criteria for a personality disorder? And he told me she did not.
All right, so you asked
She's
him
totally normal.
specifically with respect to a
You know,
topic
taunting
that
people the way she does in
happens
those
to
audio
your,
recordings, that's
expert
normal when you
report,
just push that far.
And then he made a conclusion that's reflected in no document.
It's reflected in my notes. It's reflected in his notes about what he's treating. He's treating the symptoms. He's not focusing on the diagnosis, but he is treating the symptoms.
You
Oh.
talked about Dr. Cohen's concern.
So she's symptomatic of it, but she's not it. So don't get tested.
He wasn't talking about her physical safety, was he?
Yes, he was.
No, he was talking about her emotional safety. Wasn't that what he was talking about?
He was concerned for both.
He was concerned for both. Oh, okay.
Did Dr. Cohen testify that he never
Right.
had the feeling that Johnny intended to hurt Ms. Heard?
I believe he said that. I mean, he talked about
think so.
Mr. Depp being very poorly controlled, and that's what made him, Dr. Cohen, concerned, because in those moments when he was not controlled, that he could accidentally seriously hurt Ms. Heard.
What do you mean not in control?
Again, Ms. Heard told Dr. Cohen that Mr. Depp was poorly controlled, correct?
That's not correct.
Oh? So where did Dr. Cohen get this?
Determined that from the treatment he was providing Ms. Heard.
And he also had a couple session with Mr. Depp, and he also had correspondence with Dr. Kipper. So he had other information as to Mr. Depp's functioning.
All right, you talked about Dr. Banks.
Correct.
Dr. Banks was doing relationship consulting.
This is actually pretty interesting.
Correct.
And Dr. Banks only met with them once.
Correct.
All right. And you did an interview, I think, with Ms. Heard's mother, Paige.
That's correct.
All right. You'd agree with me that a person's family member is not the most objective source of information?
Well, yeah, that's why you're not allowed to
Sometimes
use them in
you have to
a
certainly control for
job
that
interview.
The person may be wanting to be protective of their daughter, of course.
Exactly what
And you
probably
interviewed
happened.
Ms. Paige Heard after Mr. Depp had already sued Amber Heard.
Right. The entirety of my work in this case happened, obviously, after the lawsuit.
Did you review, in that context, any of Paige Heard's text messages with Mr. Depp?
Oh?
I'm not sure.
Is
if
this
I saw
actually
them
going to be
with Mr.
relevant or
Depp. I
something, or
believe
what?
I saw some with Miss Heard. I mean, Miss Paige Heard, Amber Heard's mother, did talk to me about her relationship with Mr. Depp.
And she told you that she loved Johnny even after Amber alleged abuse, correct?
She did.
All right.
Oh, how sweet. He's just the greatest actor I've ever met.
You testified that you approach a forensic evaluation with, I think you said it again today, a healthy degree of skepticism.
Correct.
Correct.
All right.
Okay.
This
So
skepticism didn't cause you to conduct interviews with.
They're just dissecting
for
this so
instance,
far, from what I
Laurel
understand.
Anderson.
Right. I did not speak to Dr. Laurel Anderson.
And you chose
Who's
not
this?
to speak to Dr. Laurel Anderson because you disagreed with Dr. Laurel Anderson?
That's not correct.
Not entirely true.
And what did Dr. Laurel Anderson do on behalf of Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp?
She was a couples therapist that they sought. They had 4 couples sessions. As I stated yesterday, one of them in which Mr. Depp stormed out of. She did have a long, I guess, evaluation or interview with Mr. Depp individually and with Ms. Heard individually. And then she saw them intermittently after the May 21st, 2016 incident, and when they were filing for divorce.
So you didn't interview Laurel Anderson, but you know what she did. How'd you figure that out?
Because we had her redacted notes and her deposition.
Oh. So you don't need to speak to her. You just
Understood from her deposition
had her notes to go over. Because that's
Dr.
better than
Anderson
speaking.
Didn't believe Miss Heard to be a victim of spousal abuse?
I believe those were her words, yes.
And you also understood from her deposition
It's just,
that Mr. Depp had not had a very long history of being violent with any
how
of
is
his
anybody ever going to be able to look at her? Not be like,
She said that
you
as
shit
well.
the bed.
Yeah.
But that's something about
Like
Ms.
her?
Heard significantly triggered him. She talked about that as well.
And Dr. Anderson thought that Mr. Depp had been
I almost feel like it's going to be like those stories about when
I think,
people
for
are
almost
dating
20 or
porn
30
stars,
years, correct?
Up until this point. I
where
believe
like they
she
have
said.
to accept their past. Yeah, everybody's seen all of that on the out there, and but I accept
Yes.
you. I know everybody heard about you shitting in Johnny Depp's bed.
You know Miss Heard had a personal nurse,
That's kind of suck.
Erin Filati.
Correct.
But everybody's gonna know,
interview
like,
Miss Filati.
basically neither of
I
these.
did not.
Most Hollywood relationships don't even work out
You know
anyway.
she
They're only
spent
married
time
for like
with
5,
Miss
6
Heard
years.
on a regular basis during her relationship with Mr. Depp.
It's always nuts.
Correct. I had her clinical notes that I reviewed.
Right. And you reviewed her deposition testimony,
Correct.
some of which the jury's heard, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. And you reviewed the nursing notes.
Yes.
So you know that Ms. Heard admitted to a history of eating disorders to Ms. Filati, correct?
I know that's in the notes. That's nowhere else in any other record, so I'm not sure where that came from.
But you relied on everybody else's notes.
And there are some things that I disagreed with, like I disagree with Dr. Laurel Anderson about it being mutual abuse.
Mutual.
So the
No, 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 no.
you disregard, and the rest.
You're going to disregard probably the only sensible statement that has been made so far? No. Dr. Laurel Anderson has to be wrong. Johnny Depp is the only abuser in this case. I don't want to, but I live in an area where that tends to be what people will do. They'll just side with the girl or the woman, no matter what. Because in this area, it was a farming community, and it only recently got with the times, and it was very bad for that. But now you have people who are just immediately jumping to, anyways, it's basically something happening everywhere. When mutual abuse could be a situation. I mean, sounds bad, but that's basically sounds exactly like what my parents were like.
Rest you keep, correct?
That's not correct.
But that's what you did.
That's not correct.
All right.
It is.
You know that Ms. Filati saw Ms. Heard immediately after she returned from Australia.
I'd have to look at the notes again to be sure, but I know she did see her when she came back from Australia. That's correct.
Okay.
Did Ms. Filati document any injuries to Ms. Heard in her notes?
I did not see that in the record.
Okay, so you looked at her notes, and there's no injury to Ms. Heard documented in her nurse's notes following her return from Australia.
Correct.
Okay.
But, come on.
You talked about this
No butt,
concept,
lady?
which you then defined lethality. And you testified there are certain factors of their present relationship
Lethality.
where a woman ends up murdered by her partner.
Yeah.
Correct.
That happens. That's why I was against the lockdowns.
As to whether a woman
That was going to
is in a
only get worse.
dangerous situation.
Correct.
Can we pull up PX92?
But yeah, just briefly for a second there. That, like,
Published to the jury.
the whole reason lockdowns are bad, where you're basically locking two people like this with each other 24/7 and then going, well, it's only for 2 more weeks. It's only for 2 more weeks. It's only for 2 more weeks.
I believe this is the
And then it took like 2 years.
knife that Miss Heard gave to Mr. Depp as a gift.
That is a sick knife, though.
You speak Spanish?
You speak Spanish?
Do you know what?
It's just the way he says it. All right. You speak Spanish? Holy shit, man. Relax.
That Miss Heard gave to Mr. Depp as a gift.
All right. And you speak Spanish?
You speak Spanish? I love it.
Do you know what it says?
Yes, it says hasta la muerta, until death.
I speak French.
A woman you suggest
The closest is
characteristics of being afraid for her life.
Justement. I don't know.
Gives her intimate partner a large knife.
Oh yeah, and then he used to call her
which she
Slim.
is inscribed until
That's
death.
hilarious.
That's your testimony?
Well, there's context.
Wait, yeah, what is he trying to say?
A large life gives her intimate. So a woman you suggest has characteristics of being afraid for her life.
Yeah.
Gives her intimate partner a large knife, which she is inscribed until death. That's your testimony?
Well, there's context.
The context is she was going to stab him with it if he ever left her. That's context. No, I'm kidding. That's like, why else would you get a knife with till death do we part? Not even till death. If a man did that for a woman, I'm sure all of her friends would be like, that's a little weird. Meanwhile, you got these two little cowboys running around the Australian outback buying each other Damascus knives and writing in Spanish on it. God, I hope they didn't do that in Australia. Like, why not just get, like, I don't know, something from Australia? That's just a little weird either way. It's a cool looking knife.
We can do that later.
Looks like it's scraping off, though.
So we talked about...
Even she's like, yeah, that one might have been a little weird. Maybe I should have wrote anything else on there, like Je t'aime. Isn't that a film? No, I think it's Chocolat, isn't it? Another movie I have no idea about, but I know its stupid name. Oh, means to be cheated on. The hell? That doesn't even make any sense. It's a totally different movie. It's about a chocolatry, yeah. Is he in this? Yeah, there he is, Johnny Depp. He's like the fifth person down. What the hell? I thought he was the, wow.
You talked a little about...
A river rat. It's me with my hobo.
Mr. Depp purporting to demonstrate jealousy with Ms. Heard. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
And you specifically talked about Mr. Depp displaying jealousy regarding the actor James Franco.
Correct.
What?
Now,
when was this?
The very first time you met with Ms. Heard, she talked to you about Ms. Franco.
Seriously? What is that? I gotta Google that.
Correct?
I don't know if it was the first time, but I did ask about some other relationships.
Oh, at least we got it from a day ago.
So,
Marca.
why
The
don't
hell?
we do this? Let's go PX 1246. I just want to go to the first page.
I know that Musk was simping for her not long ago, but...
Do you recognize the document that's in front of you?
Yes.
No.
All right. And what I would like to do...
I swear, that's Marissa Tomei on the right there.
It's one, a top sheet
Or at least a
of
younger
background
version.
information
Just
questionnaire
her when
that
she was
I used
younger.
to help guide the evaluation.
Okay. So, now, this is... Who filled it out?
I filled it out.
Whose form is it?
My form.
All right.
My form.
I'm going to move just the first
Oh, that's where we
page
were
of
earlier.
documents because we're going to talk about other portions of it later.
Could you back out so she can see the whole first page? Any objection? Okay, I can.
We will admit the whole thing in evidence.
You want the whole thing in evidence?
Sure.
No objection whatsoever.
All right, 12.
Okay, that's all they were saying. If it goes in, probably it has the whole thing has to go, not just parts of it.
Are there any,
That's perfect. I don't think either side should be hiding anything, unless of course it's like a 10-foot friggin' document.
Okay, so you owe me a redacted one.
And all we need is like this, because everything else is white space.
What the nature of the redactions are going to be, but
okay.
Unless it's like the murder weapon or the thing she used to chop off his finger. We don't need the whole thing. We just need the little sliver. They're hiding the white space. They're not
1246,
hiding the white space.
Has been moved into evidence. Can we blow up the bottom right
Phew.
corner?
Careful how you use those words in
Yeah,
America.
let's publish it to the jury.
You'll get swatted.
I don't.
Like that poor kid who just built a clock.
Or we can, why don't you,
I don't see anything on the first
if
page.
you want
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like poor thinking. That would be like me when I was in Valdor, when I'd go to the
well, that's what they're going to show.
That's what we're going to show.
reserve with my mom talking shit about the
All right,
natives.
publish then.
It's not a smart idea.
All right.
Place.
So this is the
Or
bottom-
location.
Bottom corner, your notes. And it's under the section of your notes that's entitled Intimate Relations.
What?
Correct.
Right.
What is this?
And one of the notes here on the right, it says JF, that's James Franco, right?
Oh, Elon. Oh, I thought that said Elm. I'm like, what are we looking at? So these are her intimate relationships. Travis from 1618, he was a good guy. This was a Catholic activist, 18 to 19. What does that matter? You're in a relationship. Valentino, fun-loving, 19 to 20, 1.5 years. The Catholic activist was probably the smartest here. Mark, casual, Mexico. She doesn't even know how long she was with this guy. She's like, it's like when I refer to the flood as being a place, not a time, because everything was just erased. Just time didn't exist when she was dating Mark. It was very casual, and it was Mexico. That's how long it was. Tasia, 5 years. How old is she anyway? I don't really care, actually. And then Johnny. But then over here, James Franco friends got close but really wanted to be Johnny. Like James Franco wanted to be Johnny because Franco is pretty cool, but he's kind of like weird. So I wouldn't doubt that. He's dating her and he's like, now I'm Johnny Depp. I will become the Depp. And then Elon, May 2016, met Ball. Was heartbroken. My soul was dead, felt nothing. Ended March 2018. Dated after Johnny. Okay.
Correct.
Got close, but really wanted to be with Johnny.
Well, it says JF friends. They were friends.
All right. Said friends, but you put him under intimate relationship.
Well, there's a line there because I was asking specifically about other things that were allegations in this.
Okay. So she was with him while she was still married to him, because this is saying it ended in 2018. They were married from 2015 to 2017. Good Lord. Okay.
There's a line there because you did not believe that they should go under intimate relationships, but it's on your form?
She wasn't telling me that this was an intimate relationship.
I gotta go blow my nose. Holy Murphy. Okay. Play on that. Oh, pause that. Hit play on this.
Relationship, I queried as to what's going on with James Franco because that was something that was raised in this case.
And there's
So
a
she was just
note from
checking it.
December 2015.
When they became more friends, more friendly.
Right. And that was a period of time in which Ms. Heard was married to Mr. Depp, correct?
Correct.
So she became close with Mr. Franco in December 2015, and at least you put it under intimate relationships.
With a line differentiating another part of this document.
Okay. Did you provide another header, like a header that says friends?
No.
No.
Did you provide another header, like one that says friends? No. Why would I do that?
The next one says, I think it says Elon.
Correct.
It's Elon Musk, right?
Correct.
All right. May 2016.
Correct.
Met Ball.
Correct.
Met him
That's
at
a
the-
big fancy party in New York, right?
Yes, it is.
All right. And she said she dated him after Johnny.
Correct.
Okay.
She met Elon Musk in May 2016 when she filed a TRO.
The last answer was May 21st. I believe it was May 26th, 27th. If I'm correct.
When did she start dating Elon Musk?
Sometime after that.
All right. Yeah. Sometime after the TRO?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
That doesn't probably look good.
We can take that down. You talked quite a lot yesterday about this concept of reactive violence.
Yes.
Yeah. So just so I understand your position on this, is it your position that if Miss Heard was abused, she gets to hit Mr. Depp?
What?
That's not my opinion.
I hope
But
not.
you know she hits him.
Holy cow.
And
That'd
I
be
testified
nuts.
to that.
Right. And how many times do you believe that she told you that she hit him?
Do I believe that she told me, or how many instances were there?
Well, I don't know. How would you know other than her telling you? You weren't there, right?
I was not there. That's correct.
All right. How many times did she admit to hitting him?
She indicated a number of times in a number of instances.
Where she hit back. I do believe you have the right to defend yourself, though.
That you would listen to audio recordings as part of the work you did in this case?
That's correct.
All right. I'd like to play you a portion of one of those recordings. It's Plaintiff Exhibit 343. It's already in evidence.
Okay.
And for the record, the portion I want to play is 2 minutes 46, 246.01 to 247.20.
Okay. What are we hearing here? Secrets never said to be told?
I said to Travis, I said to you, hey, tell Travis what just happened.
Oh, you told me to do it. You told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just happened.
And I
I don't know, I'm
lied.
leaning into my
Punched me
microphone.
in the
You're right.
fucking Thing, and
You figured
in
it
the
out.
face, and you said, no, fucking, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? And I
didn't
watched
punch
you lie. And then
I didn't punch you,
and
by
then
the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Babe, you're not
Don't
punched.
tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, you've been a lot of fights, been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No,
I-
when you fucking have a close
You
face.
didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not.
See, there she's looking like she regrets having done it. It's a little too late for that now. But really, all you have to do is say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have punched you. Let's work this out. Let's move forward. But instead, she's goading him. She's basically saying, if you can't remember the fact that you've been in all these fights and you've done all this stuff, and you think that's a punch, you're basically just a wuss. It's like, calm down, lady.
Hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
Either way, it's not fun.
What am I
You're
supposed
somebody
to do?
you
Do
trust.
this? I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you started.
You are such a baby. Grow the fuck up,
You started
Johnny.
physical fights.
Yeah.
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did. So I had to
Because
get the fuck out of there.
yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what?
No,
You're
it's honor.
admirable.
Oh,
You
there's
agree
some
with Ms.
remorse.
Heard that it's admirable to retreat from a fight?
I would say that.
Is it admirable? It is admirable to retreat from a fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything about this tape suggest to you that it's characteristic of reactive violence?
In this instance, if true, if she said she hit him first, then that would not be reactive violence.
All right.
All right.
You
All the way says, all
testified
right.
that Ms. Heard reported to you that she engaged in low levels of violence, correct?
Well, I don't think she said that. I think that was the characterization of knowing the types of minor and severe levels of violence.
Okay, I got it wrong. You consider it low levels of violence.
Well, I considered what the literature and the research talks about low levels of violence as opposed to severe levels of violence.
And I think
Okay, but how do you categorize that?
If you, that Ms. Heard,
What's low levels of violence? Like just a couple of slaps here and there? Nothing more?
I think I said more frequent injuries.
More frequent, but not more severe.
Well, certainly the incidents in Australia and the sexual violence and the incidents on December 15th, 2015 were quite severe.
Mm-hmm.
You said you reviewed medical records in rendering your opinion.
Correct.
And you reviewed photographs.
Correct.
Now, other than the reports to her therapists, which you call medical records, right?
Yeah, I would call those medical records,
Right.
sure.
Other than the reports to her therapist, there's not a single medical record that reflects any injury to Ms. Heard.
Oh,
is there?
there's.
That's not correct.
All right. There is not a, other than what doctor reflected injuries to Ms. Heard?
The note by Erin Borum, her married name, I'm not recalling her married name, indicated that she was headbutted by Mr. Depp and that she went for a concussion check and she had a busted lip and then she went to Dr. Kipper's office in order to get checked.
What? And there's a medical record other than that note that reflects it?
There's a note that she showed up at Dr. Kipper's office. There's a note in the
But there's
similar 2
nothing from
days that
Dr.
Dr.
Kipper, is there?
Laurel Anderson saw the 2 bruises from that same incident as well.
All right. You reviewed photographs.
Yes.
I'd like to put up PX 144. It's been published to the jury briefly. I'm going to keep it up very briefly.
Sorry, I'm just listening.
That photograph doesn't
Try to-
reflect a low level of violence.
Because right here, there's nothing too.
That
Whoa.
reflects a severe injury, I would agree.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Why don't we
Didn't
go
know
to
that could
PX
be.
145?
Can't stare at that.
That's a severe injury that ended up with Mr. Depp on a gurney, correct?
That is a severe injury.
That's a. Those are dog pee pads. That sucks. Must have been bad. What happened? Why is he?
Is it your testimony
Did you burn him?
that
That must suck. Holy cow.
throwing a can of mineral spirits at your spouse is characteristic of reactive violence?
Mineral spirit.
If you are running away from your spouse who is trying to hurt you, yes.
All right, so you can throw a can of mineral spirits. What about if you throw a can of Red
Oh,
Bull?
for his painting. Or her
Again, it
painting.
depends on the incident I think that you're referring to. That was not necessarily reactive violence. That was in a state of frustration or anger.
All right, so when you
That's
throw a
all?
Red Bull in a state of frustration or anger, that's not reactive violence.
No.
No.
What about if you throw a bottle of vodka because your husband fell off the wagon? Is that reactive violence?
Are you asking me hypothetically?
I'm asking you, would that be a characteristic of reactive violence? Throw a bottle of vodka because your husband fell off the wagon.
If it's in the middle of an assault, perhaps. If it's
Perhaps.
independent of that, no.
Right. So, for instance, if your husband was just having a couple of shots at the bar.
Again, you would need more information and context to make that determination.
Is that it?
You don't think that's a reflection of reactive violence? And you'll agree with me that when you throw the second bottle, that's not reactive violence.
If somebody's throwing multiple bottles, again, psychological violence and abuse is psychologically destabilizing, which destabilizes individuals' coping strategies. That is absolutely true.
Lost what's true. Is it your testimony that once you've thrown one bottle and missed, when you throw the second one, now it's reactive violence?
That's not what I'm saying.
So what are you
Throwing
saying?
bottles is acceptable in any context.
Good. So then Amber Heard's and like none of this is getting better. I'm so confused as to how it's gone 15 days. That's how I've landed here. You'd think that at some point they'd just be like, that's enough. We don't need to know how bad she is. We've heard it all.
That you did. One of the things that you did was a form.
I swear he's about to say something terrible now.
A CTS2 relationship behaviors form.
The conflict tactics scale, correct.
So CTS2 stands for conflict tactics scale.
That's correct.
And this is one of the documents that you had with you on the stand yesterday.
I had all my testing with me and all my clinical notes from my evaluation with Ms. Heard.
And you gave me
I want you to show up
a copy of it.
Nothing.
Because you looked at it during your testimony.
Because you asked me, so I gave it to you, yes.
Right. All right.
I didn't take it from you, right? I didn't steal from you. I didn't corner you in an alley and hold a gun to your chest, right? You remember that? Yeah, everybody was here. Shit, you walked over, I handed it to you.
The most accurate and thorough information after having done 12 tests with so many questions. I wanted to just be as accurate as possible. I'm sure my memory would miss some things that might be relevant.
All right, so let's talk about the CTS2.
Oh.
It's dated 9/26/2019.
Correct.
All right, 9/26/2019.
9/26/2019.
It goes
Okay.
through and it asks a whole series of questions about what you've done and what your partner has done.
Like this is just getting ridiculous.
Tons of these questions.
Correct.
And
I wish the
every
jury could just be like,
single one of
we don't
those
need to hear
questions
anything.
Is preceded by the same question, right?
This was a fucked up situation.
How often did this happen in the past year?
Correct.
Wait.
You knew that as of 9/26/2019, not a single one of the things that Ms. Heard identified happened to her in the last year.
Correct.
Right.
She was oriented to a different time frame to get a checklist of those behaviors.
She was oriented to a different
And
time frame.
So
she's talking about things that were harder for her to remember than were more recent.
Although it says, please, how often did this
have a
happen
stroke.
in the past year? One of the questions is, my partner used force to make me have oral or anal sex.
What?
Correct.
She went with 0 on that, right?
Okay.
I'd have to see if you'd like to show me.
What a weird.
You have any recollection?
I'm so
She didn't go with 0
confused.
on that?
I have a recollection at that point in time, she was framing those type of acts as angry sex.
Oh.
She
And you
wasn't
helped her-
framing them as physical force, as most women don't on these measures.
And you helped her to reframe it as something other than angry sex, didn't you, doctor?
My job was not to do treatment. My job was to do an evaluation, and
Okay.
that's what I did.
All right.
But you make it sound like
So you
just
did
because they're
evaluate.
self-reporting like that, they're not telling the whole truth.
One of the evaluations you did and one of the diagnoses that you ultimately made relates to PTSD.
That is correct.
All right. And you diagnosed Amber Heard with PTSD long before you made use of the gold standard test for PTSD.
That is correct.
All right.
Oh?
And I make the diagnosis of PTSD in my clinical practice without using the CAPS all the time.
All right, so just so that you and I are on the same page, and I think we are.
But she doesn't. She just
this
knows.
gold
She's really
standard
good at
test that I'm
recognizing
referring to is
PTSD.
the CAPS 5.
That is correct.
That's the one that Dr. Curry administered, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Restless.
You didn't administer
Probably
the
hard to
CAPS
just sit
5
there and say nothing.
until after you'd already diagnosed.
I mean,
Amber Heard
I do a
with
pretty good
PTSD,
job just sitting
right?
here listening, but
She had PTSD in 2019. She had PTSD in the
According
beginning
to
of
you.
2021 when I evaluated her. And then she had
But-
PTSD in December 27th, 2021 when I administered the caps. That's correct.
All right.
according
I
to
think
you,
I
no,
asked
no,
a
no.
much more narrow
See,
question than that.
you guessed, and then a year and a half later ish, you then went and did the test, and the test agreed with you. It's not the same thing.
You didn't diagnose, you didn't give the CAPS 5. Hold on, I'm going to strike that question altogether and start it again. You had already diagnosed her with PTSD before you did the gold standard,
Yeah.
correct?
Before I administered the caps 5, there was enough data in the psychological testing and my clinical evaluation to establish that she met criteria for PTSD. That is correct.
Okay.
You submitted a
Where's he going with this? I need to know. Hurry up.
January 11th, 2022.
Get to the point.
I believe the attorney submitted that disclosure, yes.
You participated in that?
In the January 11th, it was the same disclosure that went before. There were no changes on that.
Did you reference the CAPS 5 in that at all?
I don't
She
believe
takes
I
the
gave
stand in the
results of
fourth
the CAPS
hour.
5 to the attorneys at that point.
All right. You met with, I got dates here. This time I'm using the cheat sheet. All right. You met with Amber Heard on
At least they
September
can
26,
tone down.
2019.
That's nice.
I would love to have my cheat sheet, but I'll take your word for it.
I'll share.
Thank you.
October 11th, 2019.
So she is used to this.
When
So
did
if
you get the
anything,
CAPS 5?
I would say maybe sometimes
The
she
CAPS
is
5 was
right. In
administered the
fact, she's
last time
probably
that I
right
saw
in a
Ms.
good
Heard. I
portion
saw
of
her over,
cases.
as is stated multiple times over the past 2.5 years, and having not seen her in about a year to get an accurate assessment.
Because
of
this
her
is somebody who
symptoms,
seems to at least
having had all the
get a,
background
you
information,
know, bat in
CAPS
60.
5 is a great structured clinical interview to do that.
All right.
Percent,
you hadn't
right?
seen her for about a year before.
She's
you-
winning
before you
60%.
gave that
Well, not
test.
winning. She's
That is
on
correct.
the winning side
And you
60%
did
of
it
the
over
time.
Zoom.
That is correct.
All right. Why don't we pull up PX 1247? And this may.
I'm actually going to pause it here. Maybe we'll pull it back up later. Lord. Because I do want to get to the Amber Heard on the chair, but I ain't going until that late. Heard. I had it up earlier. I just didn't click on it. And this is basically what I was waiting for. I just don't trust
Do you
Global not to
remember
edit
the
it.
first time that he physically hit you?
Yes.
Please tell the jury about it.
It was so
Doesn't know where to start.
It's seemingly so stupid, so insignificant. Oh, never forget it.
Okay.
It changed my life. I was sitting on the couch and we were talking. We were having a normal conversation, you know, just there was no fighting, no argument, nothing. And
He does look tired as hell.
he was drinking, and I didn't realize at the time, but I think he was using cocaine because it was like there was a jar of cocaine out on the table.
A jar of cocaine.
I realize it
Yeah.
sounds weird, but it was like an actual.
He's
large
laughing
jar
at
of
the-
it. But I didn't see him use it at the time, so I didn't really factor that in. I just, he's drinking and we're talking and there's music playing and he's smoking cigarettes and we're sitting next to each other on the couch. And I asked him about the tattoo he has on his arm. And to me, it just looked like black marks. I didn't know what it said. It just looked like muddled, faded tattoo that was hard to read. And I said, what does it say? And he said it says wino. It says wino. And I didn't see that. I thought he was joking because it didn't look like it said that at all. And I laughed. It was that simple.
Was that simple?
I just laughed because I thought he was joking. And slapped me across the face. And I laughed. I laughed because I didn't know what else to do. I thought,
I don't want to be mean, but it does look like she's doing a role.
this must be a joke. Because I didn't know what was going on. I just stared at him, kind of laughing still, thinking that he was going to start laughing too to tell me it was a joke. But he didn't. He said, you think it's so funny? You think it's funny? You think you're funny? And he slapped me again. Like, it was clear it wasn't a joke anymore. And I stopped laughing, but I didn't know what else to do.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do. You would think
I don't think
you would have a response, but I, as a woman, had never been hit like that. I'm an adult, and I'm sitting next to the man I love, and he slapped me for no reason, it seemed like, and I missed the point. It was that stupid.
Okay.
Second slap, I know he's not kidding, but I don't know what else to say or do, so I just stared at him. I didn't say anything. I didn't react. I didn't move or freak out or defend myself or say, what are you doing? You're crazy. I just stared at him because I didn't know what else to do. And he slaps me one more time. Hard.
What the fuck? He just slaps
I
me
lose
one
my
more
balance.
time.
At this point, we're sitting
On the
next to each other
couch?
on the edge of the couch, or I was on the edge of the couch. And I'm all of a sudden realizing
Just
that
beat
the
herself
worst
up
thing
for
has
that?
just happened to me that could possibly happen to you. I realized that I wish so much he had said he was joking. Because it didn't hurt. It didn't physically hurt me.
That's actually kind of funny. Yeah, Johnny Depp slapped me, but it didn't hurt. I could take a Depp slap.
I was just sitting there on this carpet, looking at the dirty carpet, wondering how I wound up on this carpet and why I never noticed that the carpet was so filthy before, and I just didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to react. I just sat there thinking, how much time do I have to figure out what I need to do? Because, God, did he just hit me? No, I didn't want to leave him. I didn't want this to be the reality. I didn't want to have the man I was in love with. I know you don't come back from that. I'm not dumb. I know you can't hit a woman. You can't hit a man. You can't hit anyone. You can't just hit somebody because they...
No, you can't hit somebody. You can come back from it. Otherwise, there is no such thing as forgiveness. We might as well just throw the whole book out the window, which I know a lot of people would agree with, which is why I think a lot of people are psychotic in that sense. It's not up to us. It's just up to us to forgive. That's basically it. Basically, this isn't our situation anyway, so really, we're not even supposed to judge. That's what that person in the middle is for. All we can do is, I don't know, make up our own opinions, which I guess is a form of judging on its own. But at the same time, like, if instead of dragging it out through court like they did here, if they were to have just, looked at this institution of marriage for what it is, two people who will always try and will always try to become better. Yeah. See, I don't want to use too many real world examples in case I insult people, but that's kind of it, right? Like, it's not that nothing she says is making no sense. It's that she doesn't seem to put any stock behind her own thing. It doesn't seem like it's easy, right? And it is a little like, give me a second. Let me form my thoughts. Basically, nobody should hit. That doesn't mean you can't come back from it. Which is probably why she's struggling so much, because she probably does recognize where she went wrong, much as he recognized where he went wrong. But now that she's gone to this point, if she admits it, it's almost like she basically have to be a different person to be able to admit where she went wrong.
I knew there was no. I knew it was.
I'm not saying
wrong,
she would
and
have
I
to
knew
be,
that
but
I had to leave him.
see, there's no. That's it. She didn't want to be left. She was afraid that because she's acting this way, she's going to be the one who's left. But if she does it first, then she's left the abuser, and everything, she did exactly what she's supposed to do. And it's true. If you're in that situation, you should go. But at the same time, if you're, yeah, exactly. She doesn't want to admit to everyone that she can be the bad guy, even though if they would have done that way before this, and they would have fixed their marriage and had kids and moved on, everything would be fine. Because I guarantee you, people who suffer from what she's suffering from, they can be happy. Just like for me, all I had to do was accept that there are things that will happen inside my head that I can't change the fact those ideas are popping into my head because of what it is, but I can change how I react about them. And half the time, because they're in here, it's not, I haven't even left the house yet, nothing can go wrong. It's all up to me. Once I start living with, okay, these are things that'll happen, and I'll get paranoid and suspicious over nothing. I just need to accept that and talk about them. It becomes easier. But we're also not taught that anymore. We're taught not to try. We're taught that you can always try again with somebody else. Well, sometimes it sounds bad, but if you meet 10 people and they're all assholes to you, you might be the asshole. So you might be the one who needs to change. And perhaps one of those 10 people who are an asshole might have actually been your friend.
And that's what broke my heart.
And they may still.
Because I didn't want to leave him. I thought if I got up out of that room, I'd leave the best thing that ever happened to me.
It doesn't seem real.
Because I didn't want to leave him. I thought if I got up out of that room, I'd
Now,
leave.
it might not seem real now because of how long has passed between then and now. She doesn't care for him anymore outside of those lingering feelings from that time then. But at the same time, it doesn't seem like she's accepted the truth, like what she's saying is the truth. It's just something that has a truth to it.
The best thing that ever happened to me. And I wish I could sit here and say I stood up and I walked out of that house and I drew a line and I stood up for myself. But I was just looking at the dirty carpet trying to will myself to get up.
Stop talking about the dirty carpet, please.
To walk out of the door because I knew I needed to.
But you just said that's not what you did.
Slowly, I stood up and I remember looking at him in the eye and just looking at him, frankly, because I didn't know what else to do. And before I know it, he starts crying. And, I had never seen an adult man cry. I didn't even really see my dad.
You mean when you and James Franco, when you turned him down, he didn't cry in front of you? Damn, that would have been awesome. Such a weird thing to say. I've never seen a grown man cry. Put on any movie. They got well, it's not real. No, but it's a grown man crying. That's what it looks like. I don't know why why people think that's such a profound statement to say. I've never seen a grown man cry. Grown men see grown men crying all the time. Every time they take a shower and they look in the mirror.
I cry at my grandma's funeral. It's weird. And he
was
crying.
That's sexist.
Tears, just falling out of his eyes. He gets down on his knees and he grabs my hands and he's touching my hands and he's saying to me, I will never do that again. I'm so sorry, baby.
I just wanted to know what it was like to smack you once.
I killed it and it's done. I thought I put the monster away and I've done it before. It's done.
Johnny Depp got edgy for a minute there.
On his knees.
The demon got released.
I didn't have words. I didn't
And he
know
slapped
what
her.
to say.
And he slapped her
I just
again.
remember thinking that
He's like, did I really say that? And he's like, maybe I. Jesus Christ! If I followed it up with the monster got out, I couldn't keep it contained. Maybe I really did lose it. I might have to talk with my counsel about this. If I said something so edgy, could we strike that from the record?
He was crying. He seemed so sorry, but I knew I couldn't just forgive him because
Not yet.
right?
No.
That means it will happen again, no?
Not real. No. Whoa. No, that's not what that means. What are we doing? Are we going back over? Okay. I was gonna say, is this the Asmund Gold video? Because how the hell did he keep it to 6 minutes 41 seconds? That's impossible. If it was 6 minutes 41 seconds and it was Asmund Gold, that would mean the video was like a minute long. But yeah, no, she doesn't. I think it's two rich people, one who has some sort of DSM-5 particular issue, or DSM-4, and the other one had drugs, alcohol, and smoking issues. He was famous, young, got to him a little too quick, and it was just a shit situation. And that's basically it. Like, unfortunately, that's why you basically should know who you're dating or who you're with before you marry them. That Johnny Cash and June Carter song there, Jackson, we got married in a fever, hotter than a pepper sprout. It's not always a good thing. I mean, listen to the song. They've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out. They're not in love anymore. He's going to Jackson to mess around, and she's going to go to Jackson to keep an eye on him. He's going to go make a fool out of himself, and she's not doing much better. Not a good situation. Now, of course, theirs turned into a better situation, but that is not what you're going to see here. In fact, you might even just have, the next part where Johnny Depp finally marries his very own version of a, perfect woman, and then 90 or 30 years from now, he's releasing Christian books about how his life changed when he met the right woman. Everything's working on everybody else's end, right? Every time I reload the stream manager, my video is sitting in place, and the timer ain't moving up. Oh hell, now it is. Of course, I ask, and it works. It's just trying to make me look crazy. Okay, I gotta go to the washroom again. I swear I just took a break when I sneezed to do that, but apparently I drank too much water. So I'm gonna run the music. So I'll be right back. I won't be long. Hello. I am back. Pop up Steam. Steam. Here it is. I thought I already had Steam up. Apparently I don't. You say this one sounds familiar. It sounds like a Square Enix soundtrack song. Either Legend of Dragoon or I don't want to say one of the Chronos. I'd say more like Final Fantasy or something. But yeah, that's a that's just a messed up situation either way. She's still up there with her little tears. Unfortunately, it's just a fucked up situation all around. It's messed up. It sucks. You gotta be careful who you're getting to know, who you want to try and spend the rest of your life with. And never meet your idols, right? They're always gonna turn out to be a piece of shit. Like me. Sometimes I'm talkative right off the hook. Real life, lucky to get like 12 words out of me. I'm a listener. I like to ask questions and then just let them go. Be like, what do you do for a position? What does that entail? How long can you be there for? Oh, come on. Oh, it froze. That's why. Fair enough. Give it a second. We'll get into as much of Fallout as we can, New Vegas. I'm just waiting for the damn... Holy crap, you're changing your store's working. You're advertising to me right now, Steam. What the hell is going on? You know what? Let's just bypass it. Get it the hell out of here. Be gone, Steam. You're not needed. But yeah, I love Fallout New Vegas. This is one of my favorite games. This is like my OG time waster. Skyrim was one. It really was. If I get the library to function over here, like what's going on? It's not like I played World of Warcraft. Put that up. If it takes like 30 minutes or I have to restart the computer, I might just do it tomorrow. Go back to the aliens for a couple of hours. That's why I wanted to do even just an hour's worth. That's like 4 videos right there. Doing the intro, walking to the first town, doing the first quest in that town. Like I'm probably gonna, well, no, I said I would, for a friend, I would do the Good Springs a little bit. Holy shit, we're just sitting here. Come on. Task manager. All right, Steam. You messed up. Time to go swimming with the fishes, right? Just so people don't think I'm threatening Steam. We'll just give it a hard shutdown there. Try again. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try Back for Blood again there soon. I might do it off stream just because it can get a little hot. I gotta dust this computer, but I gotta charge the airbrush. That's what I gotta do. I think Allison was charging it, but I made a joke. Now I don't remember what happened to it. Watch it happen again. Okay, here we go. Am I connected to the VPN by accident? No? Okay. Oh yeah, the Guardian games are on. Well, not right now. What? Fallout New Vegas. Hey. No mods, nothing to make it look pretty. Absolutely fresh play. We're going in. I should go back to Oblivion at some point. I really appreciate my best friend picking it up for me, and I wanted to play it more, but then Elden Ring came out, and I'm like, shit. Elden Ring. And then I never beat it. I gotta go and beat Elden Ring still. See, 119 hours. I got like 80 hours less on this than I do Skyrim. Or does Skyrim have 250 hours? I forget. Yeah, we're close to 250. I can't do that one. I like the mods you can get with the old one. Although I hear mod support switching over to the Skyrim Special Edition now anyway. I don't know what's going on down here, but it looks like there's nudity, so I'm glad I'm in the way of it. Is it loading? That pulls up that. I can close. Oh, it's doing this thing. Performing first time setup. I should have done this earlier. Oh my god. Such an idiot. I should have I didn't think to launch this stuff earlier, but it'll work. Guarantee you. I'll make a Nutella sandwich and grab a glass of milk after. Before supper. Before I make supper. I gotta put together this Gundam here. I officially lost this guy's fin, but he also just keeps taking a dive. Not again. Are you kidding me? I really, really dislike, as much as I love the Zephyrantes, and I gotta get another one so I can put that one together now. And never touch it again. Yeah, I lost the fin on this guy, finally. It's gone for good. A little upset by that, not gonna lie. But it don't matter. Because that's why I have the V2. That is a V2. That's why I have the V3. So I had a backup. Good golly, Miss Molly. We are just waiting around. I've gotten about this far, and I've taken a break. The ship, I forget the name of it. Core fighter. Right here. Do I gotta pop the top? I think I gotta pop the top. That'll let it come out easier. There we go. So I got this core fighter that comes with it. Oh boy. What in good golly? This one is just stiff as hell. Why is it this time? Why is it giving me problems this time? Seriously. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to take a chance with the House of Mouse, so... Thank you. Sure. Turn it up a little. This one sounds nice. Nice and chill. Oh, how Rose repeal a mask. Yeah, that's been pretty crazy. Anyways, let's skip abortion. Talk about toys. That's the core fighter. I don't know what happened here. It just didn't want to open up. But this one, I swear, was harder to put together than the core fighter out of the two. But they fit. They're basically identical. Except for, I would say, the plastic is different. Color separation's a little nicer. Chest's a little thicker, if I remember. Yeah, it's thicker. So is the backpack. I just haven't finished him because I got these fat fingers and they shake a lot. And I don't want to toss pieces. This one's coming along really well. So far, I've hardly messed it up. So, we're going to make John Hobo. How do I do that? He eats canned foods. He doesn't live in a nice place. Never. He's a survivalist. He can cook. He can pick locks. He's a king of the road. That's what he do. King of the road. 2 hours of push and broom. Buys an 8x12-bit room. I smoke cigarettes. No, I smoke cigars. Or I smoke used cigars. Long enough, but not too big around. What else? I'm friendly with any door that's not locked when no one's around. We'll turn the settings down and we can actually play. I don't think it's in the right format, but bug it. I think I can fix things now. Anyway, here we go. Oh boy. Settings. Audio. Let's drop it right down there. With music down there. Footsteps are fine. Voice, we'll keep it around here. There. Display. Okay. Yeah. Back. Gameplay. Leave it on normal. Back. Back. What do I have as DLC? I don't think I have anything. Oh, I got all this? Cool. Yeah, no, this isn't... Yeah, okay. We'll back. We'll quit. Holy cow. It's a slow thing. Play. Options. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Play. That should fix it. Man, I remember playing this game over at my best friend's place for the first time. I would say I was almost obsessed with it, but not quite. It basically really has some great RPG elements to it, like the whole lock picking and not trees, but you know what I mean, right? The skill points and stuff like that. Working towards a goal. I mean, the fact that you can basically do a pacifist run in this is great. I've attempted it and I've gotten halfway through the game, but it involves like a lot of running. I use a build that's basically Doctor Who. Best part is, because it wears glasses, you can make yourself the 11th easily, no problem. Okay. Right in the middle. New game! Yep, I haven't played this in forever, so I don't care. The Moon. See, the other reason I'm interested in playing this... Oh boy. Shoot, let's turn that down just a little more. I didn't mean to skip that, but it was real loud. It was real loud for me, it was real loud for you guys, and I mean, that's not the important part anyway. Everybody knows New Vegas. And if you don't, well, I guess I could start it over. Oh, I got the caravan pack and everything. I don't remember buying the DLC so much. Somebody must have bought it. And...
Whoa, easy there, easy. You've been out cold a couple of days now.
I love how it's just like 4 random DLC.
Get your bearings. Let's see what the damage is.
Sure.
How about your name?
My name?
Can you tell me your name?
Sure. Courier John Hobo.
I can't say it's what I'd have picked for you, but if
No? I don't look like a John Hobo.
Welcome to Good Springs.
What do I look like?
I hope you don't mind, but I had to go rooting around there in your noggin to pull all the bits of lead.
Had to go around digging in your brain. Found a lot of shit in there for no reason.
Tell me if I left anything out of place.
I don't think you did, sir. But I don't think that's the important part.
How'd I do?
Male. No. Next. This is gonna be great. Caucasian. We'll stick with that. Look like a... Oh, no. Let's not go with that one. It says only like 2 presets, 1 and 6. And then we'll just customize his beard. Shape. Back. What the hell? General. Back. Mouth, cheeks, chin. Oh, hair's next. Okay. Next. Hairstyle. Facial hair, rough beard. No. We need like that. Grizzled Samurai now. We need that full... He's been living in the desert. He's never seen a... there we go. Survivalist. Yeah, survivalist. There we go. And then back. He's never seen a barber, is what I was trying to say. It's got to be longer. Blast back works, I guess. Den settler. Yeah, blast back. Pterosaur? Yeah, blast back. That works. Done. Yeah, no. What? Yes.
Well, I got most of it right anyway.
What do you mean? Yeah, I just woke up. My face looked one way, and now he just fixed it. Oh, wow, now it's too quiet. What the hell? We'll get it right.
See if we can get you on your feet.
Well, we're up. Thank you.
Good. Why don't you walk down to the end of the room?
I genuinely forget what your name is.
Take
Doc
it slow
Mitchell, eh?
now. It ain't a race.
All right.
Ooh, looking good so far.
I like this. The Vigor machine. This is my favorite.
Give your guesser a try. We'll learn right quick if you get back all your faculties.
Oh, I don't think so. I'm going to turn up the audio just a little for the voices. You know what? I'll just turn up the audio just a little. E. 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 Okay. So, needs to be able to carry a lot. I think 5 is enough. Now, you know what? He's paranoid. Endurance, you gotta be... But I'm a hobo, so I'm not very charismatic. Creepy Undertake. Old Hermit. There we go. This is gonna be tough. Old Hermit or Misanthrope? We'll go with Old Hermit. And over our adventure, we'll do things for barter. Or speech, I mean. Intelligence. I don't want to take too many out, but I'll put myself at Knucklehead. Agility, cat-like. And I gotta be lucky. Because me, personally, I would say I'm lucky. Would I say I'm lucky? 7 or 21 Clover Leaf. Not two-headed coin flip, though. I know that. We'll go with lucky 7. None of these should be at 10 anyway, because you could always boost one. Leprechaun's foot, maybe. Now, we'll go with like that. And then we'll go back to... Endurance. Perception, strength. We'll put one more in each. There we go. And we'll get out of this. Booyah!
Huh.
What?
Must be some frontal lobe damage. Well, we know your vitals are good.
Well, you're an asshole.
But that don't mean them bullets didn't leave you nuttered and a bighorn are dropping. What do you say you take a seat
can you
by
stop
the
picking
fire
on
and
me
go
for
through a
like 10
couple of
seconds?
questions? See if your dog
Yes, let's
barking.
speak. Oh, they're barking all right. Trust me. That's all I hear is dogs barking. They bark and 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 they bark.
All right.
I'm kidding.
I'm going to say a word. I want you to say the first thing that comes to mind. Dog.
Barking. Dinner. Train. Accidentally click kick. All these burglarize. None of this matters anyway. I'm going to change all this night.
Bandit.
Me. No. Swiss cheese.
Like.
Torch. Mother. Human shield. No. Regret. I like that. Caretaker.
Okay.
I'll go with the
Now, I
nice
got a
one
few
so I don't get
statements.
so it
I
doesn't
want
come
you to
back to
tell
bite me
me
in the
how much
ass
they
in
sound
like a
like
future
something
stream
you
or
said.
something like that. You said your mom was a human shield. No, I said my character, John Hobo, does. No opinion.
I ain't given to.
Sure. Let's just skip through this because it doesn't matter and I can pick stuff after. Strongly agree. How about this one? Some space age technology. A bearded man. I don't see a bearded man. I never have. Alright, let's take off melee weapons. Let's go with survival, lockpick, and guns. Go with barter because I'm not going to use it too often. And it'd be nice to start off with like a bit, and then guns are already pretty high. And I'm going to end up leveling that as I go anyway. So you know what? That's what I'm going to go with. And instead of survival, I'm going to go with medicine. And then lockpicking's already at 20. So why not go with repair? Yeah, that's better. Now we've got an even spread. Done.
Before I turn you loose, I need one more thing from you. I got a form for you to fill out so I can get a sense of your medical history. Just a formality.
I don't want to
Ain't
fill
like
it out.
I expect to find you got a family history of getting shot in the head.
You'd be surprised. Built to destroy. We're going to go with Wild Wasteland as always. But your limbs crippled more easily. Cost 25% range. Heavy-handed. Good-natured. No, I don't think so. Yeah. Where's the other one? Is it... Trigger weapons. While using guns, energy weapons, you fire 20% more. So sorry. But you have -2 damage threshold. I don't like that. Critical hit damage. You're good-natured. 4 eyes. This one's pretty useful though. I like this one. The flamer that burns twice as bright. All weapons have a 3, but your equipment condition fascia. You know what? I'll go with that one because I don't like any of the others.
All right, I guess that about does it. Come with me. I'll see you out.
Yeah, 1 second. I just want to take the stuff you have over here. Like this and this. Take these. You're not going to need these, old man. Trust me. Don't need that brace, though. I don't believe there's anything over here besides a chemistry set, which I don't need. Activate broken. Repair the 9mm. Sweet. Look at me. I'm getting EXP already.
Here.
I was wearing
But
clothes.
I gave the note a look. I thought it might help me find.
Platinum chip.
Well, they call it a
Pip Boy. I grew up in one of the vaults I made before the war.
Ain't much used to be now, but you.
Well, cool. Thanks for patching me up. Now I know what I'm gonna go do. No, because I don't want to waste my time in doing survival. I'll do a survival run maybe in like a couple of months or something, maybe in a year. I'll come back to it, and that's when I'll do it. Because it isn't difficult. It's just another thing to think about. That's the problem. I like this, the way this one opens up. It's real nice. Real nice. Hey, where's the robot? Oh, there you are. I thought you were coming to talk to me.
Howdy, partner.
Yes, I am. Thanks for digging me out of that grave.
I'm always ready.
Cool. How did you happen to find me?
I was
Out for a stroll, saw what looked like a bunch of bad eggs, so I laid low. Once they'd run off, I dug you up to see.
I dug you up to see if you were still kicking.
Okay.
Turns out you were. So I hauled you off to the dock right quick.
Goodbye.
Happy trails.
So if I go in there, that's where I start those quests, right? Inventory. Let's get some stuff on. Yeah, clothes. I don't need to read any of that. How do I put it in the... That doesn't matter right now. Go with the 9mm submachine gun. Oh boy. Lightweight metal armor. We'll go with the lightweight leather armor. Armored Vault 13 jumpsuit. We'll go with this. Aid. Don't need anything here. I thought Q. Q-R-E-1. Yeah, here we go. I knew I'd figure it out. 3. Mercenary's grenade rifle. And broad machete. I'm not gonna end up using that, I don't think. 1. 3. So yeah. Yeah, why not? There's a lot to do in this town. None of it's very fun. So, I'm just going to do it anyway, because it does end in a pretty cool shootout. I'll admit.
Howdy. What can...
do you know anything about the people who attacked
one
me?
in the fence
Calling the
suits
shots,
seem
as
to
you might know.
Word of advice,
Advice if
though.
you ever catch up with them. Goodbye. I will always keep my gun handy. That'd be crazy. That's crazy talk not to have a gun with you. Especially in the West.
Cheyenne, stay.
There we are. Sunny Smiles. You're the one I want to talk to. Doc Mitchell said you could. I need to go to Prim. Can you suggest a route?
Take the road southeast out of town.
Cool.
NCR patrols do a good job of keeping the highway
But
clear.
I'd keep your gun where you
But
can
I'd
reach
keep
it. You never know who you
off
run
the road,
into.
you'll probably start running into hostile wildlife. My advice would be to stick to the highway when you can.
Yeah. You work.
Not in Good Springs, no.
Schoolhouse
Most of what's
is
in there is
true.
junk, but there's this old safe that if
Easy
you want to take a
Pete.
shot at it.
Yeah, I could do that. Magazine on locksmiths.
If the lock's too much for you to handle,
Cool. The bobby pins.
you'll need those to.
Sweet. All right.
Oh.
You know what? We'll do that.
Yeah, I guess there's a thing or two.
Sounds
I
like you
should.
need help.
Meet me.
Meet me outside the saloon. Can't I go at the back door? Yeah, Good Springs. Then she's already coming up here. She's going to give me a rifle, and we're shooting at this fence. Or does she give me a rifle? I can't remember. I got the shotgun now.
Now. See
Now
the
what?
sarsaparilla bottles on the fence there?
Oh my
Take
god,
those and
yeah.
Try to hit a couple of them.
Varmint rifle. Weapons. Okay, we already have it equipped? Cool. Oh wow. I am not that accurate, am I?
That's the right idea. It's on the sight. Try crouching down and staying still. It'll help your aim.
Do you think so?
Nice shot. Well, that's a start. But I don't reckon you came to me to learn to fight sarsaparilla bottles.
No.
Tell you what. I gotta go chase geckos away from our water supply anyway.
Alright, we
Darn
could
bears are
help
attracted
you
to
out with
it.
that.
Why don't you come along?
Fight some... You know what? I don't want to do that. I want to fight the war.
Suit yourself. I'm heading back now.
Me at the
Hey, do me a
jukebox.
favor. Trudy, she'd be cross with me if I didn't ask you to poke.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to go do that because that's how you get to the big fight. Nobody wants to see me fight geckos. People want to see me shoot other human-looking people.
Done being nice. If you don't hand Ringo over soon, I'm
Can
gonna
I?
get my friends and we're burning this town to the ground. Got it? Oh, yeah? Fucking dead. Come on.
Whoa.
There. Does anybody else want to deal with me? You have established a reputation. Yeah, I know that. Vilified powder gangers.
Not my problem.
Yeah, it's not your problem. Run, Good Springs, run. Oh. Well, I guess there goes that war, huh?
Morning.
Hi.
I hope you didn't just bring a heap of trouble down in Good Springs by
There we
killing
go.
Joe Cobb like that. His friends might come looking for him.
That's what I
and
want.
I don't think they're gonna care who was involved in his death or not.
That's okay.
Well, what's done is done. So
You just call me John
what can I do
Hobo
for you?
Punisher. Show me, what was that all
Looks
about?
like our little town got itself dragged into the
Maybe
middle of
something
some...
we don't want to do.
About
About a week ago,
this
Trader
Trader
Ringo, survivor of
comes into
Texas,
town.
Batman needs a place to
We
hide.
figured he was just in shock.
We didn't expect to come after him. Where's Ringo now?
He's
Hold up at the... Okay. What are you going to do?
Some of the others, like, personally, I hope...
I want to talk about something else. Goodbye.
Hey there.
See if I can get this over and done with. So he's up over at the Poseidon thing. I'm going to go talk to him there. Oh, that just brings... Yeah, whoops, I had that equipped. I want to use the machete more. Or in a second there.
That's close enough. Who are you, and what do you want with me?
Not an enemy, if that's what you're
Sorry
asking.
about the gun. You just caught me off guard.
Did
that's all.
I?
We got off to a bad start. What say we...
I don't need to.
Thanks,
Cowboys knows that I could have handled him if he ever found me.
Cops' friends are the bigger
problem, and when he doesn't get
when
back.
he doesn't get back, they'll be coming here for blood. There's
Oh,
no
you
way I
don't
can
know
fight 'em
that.
all.
What do you do about
I'm gonna
them?
lay low for as long as I can, assuming the town doesn't throw me.
Chance against them on my own. Maybe I can help.
We just end up sharing the...
No, you wouldn't. You don't think I can handle my
I
fight?
was thinking of myself, actually.
I'll ask around and see what we can
Start
round
with
up. I feel like I should just shoot him. I feel like that would be the easiest thing. Rusty Vault 13. Canteen Vault. At least I have that for water, eh? I mean, things could be worse. Get 18 caps. I mean, I'm gonna need some ammunition before I do anything. So where's that old schoolhouse? I know there's a fence outside it. There it is, right on the right hand side. I'm gonna need bullets for this thing, so let's stick to this. Already wasted that. I mean this. Already wasted plenty of ammunition. There's some stuff out here. I know it. Don't seem to find it. That's okay. We'll just go in here. I don't have that much ammo to waste. Oh boy. They're just jumping at me. Gross little things. Oh boy, there's another one. Giant mantises. Mantis eyes. Where? Ah, there it is. Oh yeah, the terminal can unlock it. Is it because there's something still alive? Don't need anything in here. Is my lockpicking skill too low? Did I mess up that bad already? Sure. I guess it was. Oh yeah. And now we have all the money we need. No, I'm kidding. I think we're gonna need more than that. Nothing here. It's already been looted. I guess I could sell that. It's a cap. Somebody needs cups. I think people will give me ammunition while I do this quest at the same time, but I don't want to rely on. Don't want to rely on the kindness of strangers. Mr. Luther. I love how crazy they make him in that. That's not what he's like. It doesn't matter. Still fun. We're still cool. Oh, is this somebody's house? I forget. I think this is the lootable place. Oh, it's Victor's. Never mind. The robot has a shack. He just comes in behind me, threatens to kill me. It's like, what the fuck? Why does he need his own ammunition box? I better get out of there quick. Well, I got what I needed, so it don't matter anymore. Damn, I love this game. Doesn't it just look good? Just that open sky all over and around. Like, it's great. One thing I should find as a mod is I should see if I get the not the cursor, but the crosshairs to go a little lower, because that's something I like about Halo and all that. Destiny, the fact that you can it's a little lower and offset. Lets you see more of the skybox.
Even got some weapon mods and special ammo. Well worth the caps if you ask me. If you're hurting for caps, I've also got boxes of surplus ammo in the miscellaneous
They're not
section.
great, but you get what you
They're
pay
not
for.
great, but you get what you pay
Well,
for.
thank you. Show me what you've got for sale. I'm gonna sell you stuff first. Let's put it that way. That, along with binoculars, I'm never gonna use. With some throwing spears. This varmint rifle. Oh my god, I'm gonna keep that. Clothing, you can have the lightweight metal armor. I promise. And is there anything else worth? Super stim pack. Yes. I'm not playing down that hard of a difficulty. Okay, you're going to give me one of those back. Thank you, sir. We're going to start doing some bartering here. Long fuse dynamite. Damn. I don't know why I'd need that. There's only one, isn't there? Then we have leather armor. Grey war hat. Don't need anything here. Where's ammo? Here it is. 9mm round. Here we are. How many? How much is that? So we can afford that. We'll take it.
Thanks.
Goodbye. Now we've got some ammo. We've talked to him. You gonna help, old man?
Yeah.
What do you know about Joe Cobb? Bad trouble. That's helpful. Welcome. Goodbye. You know what? I don't really care. I almost feel like walking off, but I really don't. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Where is... Do I gotta talk to you?
Feeling thirsty?
Or is it... Yeah, I think it's Sonny I gotta speak with, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't think Joe Cobb knew what hit him.
I'm going to help Ringo take on the... I need your help. Okay. Well, maybe not me.
That's inspiring. You may want to keep your
If you
optimism
try to
yourself
recruit anyone
if you
else.
try to recruit.
Oh, hell no.
Even though Joe Cobb's dead, his friends will come after the town eventually.
Easy.
However, between you, me, and Ringo,
I'll just get some dynamite and huck it at
a
him.
force to be reckoned with.
You know?
A lot of people around here look up to Trudy. If you could convince Trudy to join us, some of the folks in town might decide to help out as well.
Ah.
I know.
I don't want her help.
Finally, there's a good chance we'll all end up with extra holes in us. So if Doc Mitchell could cough up some extras,
I'm sure he'll do it. He'll help me.
I'll...
So, Chet, dynamite.
So you're planning on taking on Joe Cobb's gang?
Vigorous, but yeah. Oh, we're a little outnumbered.
All the more reason for me to sit this.
Well, thank you. Sneak. If I had help, probably. Well,